go.
You're watching Blunt Politics with
And we're back again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, the political podcast for normal people by normal people, so we could sift through the ridiculous bullshit of the mainstream media and also the GOP and also Donald Trump and also get Kamala Harris elected. That's what we're here to do. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Sounds good. Looks good. Thumbs up in the chat. Let me see those emojis in the chat too. Mel did a lot of work on those, so thanks to Mel for those emojis. Those things are fucking fire. Drop some of that heat in the chat for me, please. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing well? I know, right? And everybody's wondering. You're probably saying to yourselves, Brian, but you're missing your beloved Patriots play on Sundays. And yes, I am, and that's because I think this election is far more important than the Patriots right now. And not only that, they kind of stink. But make sure you know that I believe that this is way too important to be taking 80 days off, to be, stepping aside for the NFL or anything like that. So we're changing things up a little bit. So I want to make sure that you can hear me, because I am really sick of trying to fight through a show, concentrating on the show while also having a numb ass. So as you can tell, I'm up moving freely. Hopefully that doesn't distract you guys too much. So I don't know if God made me to sit in a chair for 2 or 3 hours at a time. I also don't know if God made me to sit in this or stand in the same place for 2 to 3 hours at the same time. So we'll see how it works. We'll see how it goes. As long as you guys can hear me, as long as you guys can see me. The only problem I see at this point with this setup is I can't get my computer high enough. Camera can go to the moon. Not a problem. Not an issue. Laptop, however, in the desk underneath it is raised as high as I could possibly get it, and it kind of looks like I'm looking down too much, which is the only problem I see. Other than that, I think we'll fight through it. I think it'll be okay. Lots to get through, lots to talk about. Explosions in Russia, Ukrainians attacking with the Bulba drone. I don't know if you've seen the Bulba drone, but they've released some footage of the Bulba drone. We also have 2 absolute fucking chuckle fuck numbskulls sitting down talking together. Well, we actually have 2 clips of 2 chuckle fuck numbskulls sitting down talking together. So we'll get into that. We'll get into Donald Trump's threats of invoking the Aliens and Seditions Act, which, as anybody that remembers history or knows history, was the exact thing that led to the Japanese internment camps during World War II, and also the German and Italian internment camps, which are a little less known than the Japanese internment camps on the West Coast. So lots to get into. Lots to talk about. Let's look at the chat. How's everybody doing? First of all, mods, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. Can't say enough about you. You guys are fucking fantastic. You keep the show running. Make sure that this place stays a nice, clean environment for people to come to, a nice, safe space for people to come to. So, Turpy, Tanya, who else we got in there? Tanya, Turpy, Ron, Kath, I says, Christopher, Cynthia. What's going on? Linda Lou, Patui, Vixen on Blue. What's going on? Mogwa. What's that say? Mogwa Crone. Someone's going to have to explain that one to me. Locator's in the house. Lauren is in the house. Lynn's in the house. Becky's in the house. BJ's in the house. Julie's in the house. Sue is in the house. Everybody's in the house. So let's hop right into it. First off, again, as I've repeatedly said before, I don't have a nut warning. I do apologize. Hal has kind of copyrighted that one on the internet, but I just would like to advise you to avert your eyes at the first sighting of Donald Trump in this interview. I guess he sat down with Maria Fartiromo, which is only fair. The guy that farts in all of his campaign speeches now sitting down with Maria Fartiromo seems to be something that is commonplace or is what you'd expect to see. So let's check in on these absolute numbskulls here. See if we can do this. We're going to do a little bit of this. So that let me just catch up here. Okay. So we got 22 days until the most important election in this country's history, right? Of course, every election is the most important election in a country's history. So saying that is a little repetitive. Anyways, 22 days. What is Donald Trump doing? Holding rallies in Coachella, California. Now, does that seem to you to be the proper expenditure of campaign finances and time and resources at this late stage in the venture? No, doesn't because Donald Trump has absolutely no shot in hell of winning California. What the fuck is he doing? I don't know. I think today he's in Arizona, which I guess he has a little better chance of winning. So, but let's just see what he had to say sitting down. He must have been yesterday he sat down with her, because in the Chiron here it says 23 days remaining until the election. So let's see what he had to say here.
How are you feeling? We're just a few weeks away, 20 plus days away from the election. How do you feel about the race?
I feel great. We're leading in all swing states. We're leading mostly in
All right. First of all, right off the bat, Donald Trump is literally one step away from blackface in this interview. What is going on? What is going on here? He looks like he's auditioning to be one of the fucking Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What the fuck? First of all, if you're going to do this, why do you not go at least to where the fucking hair meets the fucking forehead and shit? That is just the wildest look for me. Oh, you know what it reminded me of? And I posted on Twitter. I won't subject it to her face, but remember the lady years ago that was like criticized for tanning too much and taking her daughter tanning too much? Fuck it. I'll show you. Hold on. Let's see here. I gotta show you this. I don't even know what I called her. Tanning lady. All right, now see if I can do a side by side. I don't know if I'm going to do a side by side, but here, tell me, like, how far off is this? Am I far off? Am I far off? Am I? All right, so let's do that, and we'll go back. You know, like it. Hello. Please tell me, tell me that I'm wrong here. Like I don't understand how people can let him leave the house looking like that. Right? Yes, it is. It is terrible. And I apologize for showing you. That's not what you needed, especially on the West Coast if it's early in the morning for you. And I do apologize. I hope, I don't know, do I want you to have already had your breakfast, or do I want you to have a late breakfast? Either way, I hope it stays down in your stomach, because I do apologize. But yeah, come on. Literally, this is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. All right, here we go.
nationals, I think. You know, I'm a believer in polls. Some of them are fake, like a lot of writers. But I'm a believer in polls, and we're leading in just about every swing state. I think we're leading now in every swing state.
No, negative. We'll take a look at the polls after, but I can almost guarantee he's not leading in every single one of the swing states.
And she can't talk.
Oh, so you know how people, when they bring up like signs of dementia, they'll talk about, excessive swearing. You'll hear old people start to swear a lot, or you'll hear like repetitive statements, or, the vocabulary that somebody starts to use, becoming more minute. They start choosing from a less, from a smaller pond of words, so to speak, than they were, and they start repeating themselves over and over again. So you can't, when he keeps saying she's dumb, she can't speak, like this repetitive nature of him with these simple, stupid schoolhouse fucking like at recess ad hominem attacks against Kamala Harris, or anybody for that matter. It's very telling now when you put two and two together as to what the signs of dementia or possible dementia could be.
There's something wrong with the candidate, but I'll take it. But we have, I think we're doing very well. Yeah.
What do you want to say to those voters out there who might be undecided, who don't know what they're going to do yet?
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of votes. We have something sort of special going on. We have tremendous support. They're so tired of seeing what's happened to this country. They're so tired of seeing the incompetence, seeing the border.
Oh, thanks, Slacks. I saw it go by. Hold on. Let me scroll up to it. Where'd it go? Couldn't have been that long. Oh, there it is. Slacks. Let me see. There you are. Much love, Brian and Mel. Left all the Briantologists. Slava Ukraini. Heroyam Slava. Thank you, Slacks, for always being here. Appreciate you. Mel and I always love to see you in the chat. I hope you got the motorcycle. What's going on with the show? I need some more motorcycle footage. More motorcycle footage, please. All right, let's keep going.
And I think the border is maybe a bigger deal than even inflation. Inflation is a massive word. The bad economy.
Inflation is a massive word. You hear him at his latest in Coachella. He couldn't say deflate. You know, he tried to have this like big bang of a line coming out that he's going to deflate inflation, which, if you think about it, makes no sense. Anyway, doesn't make any sense. But he couldn't get it out to begin with. Just couldn't get it out. So when he talks about a candidate that can't speak, again, look in the mirror, my friend, because you will see something. Again, what we're looking at here is disgusting, absolutely fucking revolting.
Economy is massive. The inflation made the economy bad. It made it impossible for people. But I almost think no. What made the economy bad was the fact that you didn't take this huge pandemic seriously, and then somehow got all your believers to follow along with this theory that, you know, a vaccine was created by child drinking baby blood monsters with, you know, back alley shops and with pizza shops, the whole fucking 9 yards, the whole QAnon stupid fucking routine that you go through. This is the shit that he was pushing upon. You know, he's retweeting on True Social, True Central, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, there's been countless number of times now he's retruthed or retweeted or whatever the fuck it is, something or an account that has direct links to QAnon. So somehow him not taking the pandemic seriously, telling us it was going to be, you know, gone in 15 days and gone with the humidity and all this fucking bullshit. That's what led to, you know, the country shutting down to the extent that it did. That's what led to the massive inflation that we saw because of the supply chain shutting down and then starting back up again like nothing ever happened. It just was never going to be feasible. Never going to be feasible. Again, you can't put less money into the economy than the pandemic sucked out of it and expect that to be the cause of inflation. Just doesn't make any sense. That when they see millions of people coming into our country, 13,099 murderers, many of them murdered more than one person.
Where did that come from? You're just going to add to it. See, this is what he does. He has to exaggerate. The number doesn't sound scary enough. It doesn't seem to be taking with the population, right? It's not scaring people enough. So now he's got to up it to where now those 13,000 people have now killed multiple people. So now they're all serial killers, basically.
When they see that, I actually think I think the border is a bigger issue than even the economy.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. I'm terrible at fucking saying that. Terrible. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, share. There's also a join button below me. There's a Venmo up in the corner, which one of those directions. It's got to be one of those two directions. Can't be wrong. I cannot be wrong. It's got to be one of those two directions. You can also check out the website, getdemshirts.myshopify.com for all the latest merch, Ukraine, mental health related, mugs, sweatshirts, at the whole 9 yards. They're pretty unbelievable shirts, especially for a smaller channel like myself. I think I'd put our merch up against anybody's, to tell you the truth. So make sure you check it out. But at the very least, make sure you like and subscribe. Those things are free. Doesn't cost you anything. Hi on Twitch. Hi Instagram. Hi Twitter people. How's everybody doing?
Those are the two big issues.
It's had such an impact, the open border.
And the other issue that's really big, I think, is how badly they've done with North Carolina, parts of.
All right, now he gets into his whole, the response to the hurricanes, 2 major hurricanes in less than a week, lies and bullshit that he's been spewing. That again doesn't really seem to be catching on. I think the people see, and I'll show footage here of President Biden. Going with Anna Paulina Luna, walking around and talking to people down in Florida, and I believe even tagged along by Rick Scott, of all people. So the same people that were bashing President Biden and Kamala Harris for their response are now walking around hand in hand with President Biden as they, tour and go see the destruction and meet the people who are affected by these hurricanes. And again, the people seem to greet Joe Biden very warmly, very receptively, again, in an area which you wouldn't really normally think that to be the case. That's probably because they got the help that they needed, right? They know the federal government was there for them. And even though this natural disaster that nobody could stop occurred the way it did, these 2 natural disasters occurred in the span of a week, the federal government was still there to make sure that these people got everything that they possibly could to make that situation as best a situation as it could be. You know what I mean? it's terrible for everybody around. There's no fixing it. There's no bringing your house back, right? For some people, there's no bringing all the stuff, the your belongings that you had in the house back, your vehicle or anything like that. But as long as you have your family, a place to stay, some food to eat, a way to keep clean, you're at least feeling like a human being still, and are able to get back on your feet with the assistance again from the government, which again seemed to be widely received as great response from the Republican governors, from local officials, from the people in these disaster areas. So the only people trying to get you to believe that it wasn't are Donald Trump, his fucking clan, and the rest of these GOP people that, again, now walking around with Joe Biden down in these disaster areas.
Georgia. When you look at what's happened, and Florida, we'll see what's happening there. I think we got a little bit lucky in the sense that it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as they thought. And
yeah, that's good. It's always good to downplay a situation in which people lost everything. That's what they want to hear. The guy that owns properties in several parts of the country, who could just up and leave at any moment on his private 757. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear it wasn't as bad as people thought it could be. Even if that is the case, I can tell you right now, if you're standing down there in one of these places that was hardest hit, without a fucking penny to your name, without a house to go home to, that's not what you want to hear. I can almost guarantee you that.
A lot of governors have done a good job, but the response from the White House has been absolutely terrible. Her response has been terrible. So bad that they didn't even want, I see Ron didn't want her in Florida, said, just don't even come here. So
it didn't seem to say that to the president, and if he did, didn't seem like Biden gave a fuck that he said it, because he's down there now. Didn't give a fuck. So Ron can stick it right up his ass.
I think we're doing really well,
And of course, President Biden is blaming you for this bad response to these hurricanes, and the White House is calling it all
No. He's blaming you for the misinformation and disinformation that you've been putting out about the response by the government to the hurricanes. That's what he's blaming. Thank you, Colleen. Appreciate you. Let's see here. And JD with the 5 gifted. Thanks, JD. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Trump is decaying in front of the world and trying to take our country down with him. Vote blue. I don't think that's, I don't think I have any notes for that. That's pretty spot on. Pretty spot on. As you can see, I mean, look at the guy. I mean, even if I wasn't biased, which clearly I'm biased. I mean, the guy's a schmuck. I can't stand the guy. There's many different direct comparisons I could make to Trump and the way he runs his party, to the Nazis and the way Hitler ran his party, and the tactics that they now use. There's one-to-one connections that I could make. So I know what this man's capable of, and I know the rhetoric, and I know the routine that he's trying to go through. So yeah, I'm not going to let this man get within an inch of the White House if I have any way to get people to get out there and vote and make sure that doesn't happen. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But yes, Colleen, JD, thank you so much for your contributions. This guy is he's out of his fucking mind. He's gone. And it's unfortunate that the race is still so close. I mean, you'll hear pundits talking about how the numbers right now, as far as Kamala Harris's numbers, in most cases, or in some instances, are not as good as Biden's were in 2020 or as Hillary's were in 2016. So there's definitely some work to be done. There's no saying that we have it in the bag by any stretch of the imagination. It's still far too close, especially when you look at what we're looking at. This is the guy that we're running against, and it's still this close. It's fucking hugely depressing. But that just means that we have to get more people involved, more people out there to vote, to make sure that this guy does not ever step foot in that White House again.
Information.
They blame me for everything. It's okay.
Yes, Joe, absolutely. The media does want a horse race. And then there's these, outlier journalists out there that will actually start writing about what's going on, but somehow they never get the front page, or they never get the spotlight. It's always the people that want to keep it a horse race that do get the spotlight and get the, the prime time spots on these shows. It's crazy.
They, when you look at our numbers, when you look at our economy, when you look at our job numbers, every single chart that you put up, we beat them by numbers that nobody's ever seen. We're the best.
No, just provably false. Incorrect statement by all measures. You actually were one of 2 presidents that left office with less jobs than you went in with, right? Isn't that, I think that's a stat. I believe that's a stat. It's a
Best
good stat.
economy in
It's not it's not exactly the list you want to be on, my friend.
history. We had the best job numbers in history, and we had the best border in history. We rebuilt the military, and then he gave away a lot.
None of that true. All of his so-called top accomplishments, not true. Not in any way true. He didn't rebuild the entire military by any stretch of the imagination. So why are we still using equipment from the 80s and 90s then? If you totally rebuilt it, wouldn't it be from your your administration, from the time of your administration? The border that you did claim was the most safe or the most closed border that we've ever had was because of COVID and the fact that nobody was traveling anywhere. That's the whole reason for it. You claim that these numbers are good, but it's only because 1 million people in this country died, over 1 million people in this country died, and millions elsewhere, and that we were unable to travel, unable to go from our to our relative's house, to funerals, to school, to work, to theaters, to bars. That's the reason that those border numbers were so low. I don't know why he continues to take credit for it. It's fucking wild to me, and that nobody points it out to him while they're speaking to him is even wilder to me. That goes to that whole horse race thing.
Out of it to the Afghans, if he gave it to, the Taliban, I think in the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Again, the deal that he was fucking responsible for, and the fact that he released 5,000 Taliban prisoners before we were set to get out, which is never the fucking right move. I don't know why you release 5,000 of the enemy before you take your troops out of somebody. That just boggles the mind as to why that would be okay. And again, to put that on Joe Biden, who actually went through with this ridiculous plan, even though he knew it was probably going to be chaotic, which is why all these past administrations passed on going through this, because they know it was going to be a shit show. There's no good way to do this. There was no good way to pull out of Afghanistan. It was always going to be a shit show, especially when you release 5,000 of the enemy, which were then responsible for letting the ISIS-K attackers in that actually blew up and killed our soldiers. So again.
And then when you think about it, I think Putin really just said, hey, this is a good time because these people are incompetent.
I'm pretty sure that nothing he said so far in this interview, how far, what are we, 2 minutes and 46 seconds into this interview, and not a single thing he said so far has been factually correct. Not a single one of them.
Putin would never have gone into Ukraine. October 7th.
Was already in Ukraine. He was already there. It makes no sense to say, yes, they went in with a larger scale invasion, but they were already there in 2014. Remember the little green men, Crimea? The guy's brain is fried. I don't understand why he doesn't know. He doesn't think that we know this. Our brain isn't. Your brain is. We remember.
It would have never happened. And you know what else? Inflation wouldn't have happened.
Do you believe that they used money from FEMA and gave it to the illegal?
What the fuck does it matter what he believes, Maria? Why? We don't care what he believes. Just tell us what the fuck really happened. And as I said on the last show that we had, our last podcast, we brought up, no, Biden didn't take money from FEMA to give it to immigrants, but Trump did. Remember that whole thing that we read? Yes, Trump did exactly what you're about to ask if Joe Biden did, which makes no sense if you're a journalist. Point it out. Tell him what is the fact. No, don't ask him what he believes is the fact. That's not how journalism works.
Immigrants, because the White House is saying that was misinformation as well.
No, it came out from there and everybody knew it and it was released from them. Then all of a sudden, a week later, they come out with a different scenario.
What?
And they have so many different pots of money. They just, it just melds. Nobody knows it. Nobody has it.
Yeah, nobody, man. It's just a big fucking pot. It's actually like, have you ever seen the ducks? They dive into that big vault of coins. That's kind of like what we got. We dive into the coins if we need something. It's really just a big fucking pot at the bottom of the White House. Still, it is. DuckTales. Woo!
Any idea? That group has no idea what's happening. Look, it's the worst president and the worst vice president in the history of our country.
By what measure? But by what statistic are you judging that off of? Please, just man to man, kind of curious if there's any basis that you have in reality for that statement, because I had seen none. Check the stock market, no. Job creation, okay. Infrastructure, we're taken care of. Inflation Reduction Act, yep. American Rescue Plan, yep. Chips and Science Act, yep. Building plants all over the joint. Let's see here. Is there a way that I can? No, I mean, do I wish they were better on foreign policy? Yes, I do. But it's an unequivocal lie to say that they are in any way the worst administration. It's ridiculous.
They're horrible. And he can't stand her for one simple reason. She overthrew him. But she.
This is his whole, like, they accuse me of a coup, so I have to find a way to accuse them of a coup type thing. Like, have you heard any reports to substantiate this? Anything whatsoever. Chad, I'm asking. Give me anything. Have you heard of this coup? Have you heard of this coup where fucking all these, remember the theys? They walked into Joe Biden and they demanded that he step down, and they demanded that he no longer run for president, and they, them, this, them, they, deep state propagators. Who? When did that happen? Joe Biden's out there supporting Kamala Harris as much as he possibly can without getting in the way. There has been absolutely no sign or whatsoever of any dissension between the two. Pretty sure somebody just died below me, and I hope that's not the case, but that did not sound good. Prayers to the person below me. Anyway.
She didn't do it. The party did. Call it the deep state, whatever it is, but the party did it.
Again, there you go. There's the deep state. The deep state. Hit him with the deep state. Because you can't prove it, right? You can say it. You don't have to prove it, because, of course, you can't say anything. There's not going to come out in any papers about it. It's the deep state. They own the papers.
And
hit him with the papers,
It was really a coup. And he is a very angry guy, but.
All right, hold on. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can show you this angry guy. Let me see if I can show you this angry guy here. Give me a second. It's just too easy. It's just too goddamn easy. Everything the guy says is horseshit. Okay, so we're going to go to my history right here. This is Joe Biden with Rep. Anna Paulina Luna. And I believe it looks like Rick Scott. You guys could tell me if I'm wrong. Down in Florida, surveying the damage. There's Joe. Now, this is Rick Scott, right? If I'm not mistaken. Isn't that Rick Scott? Biden. And these are the people that were, their homes have been destroyed. I'm just curious. Does that seem like a miserable human being? Does that sound like a really angry, miserable, spiteful, just... Like, does that seem like somebody that was just a coup was just perpetrated upon them? No, it seems to be doing what a president should, going down, talking to people, shaking hands, letting them know that the federal government will be there to give them the assistance that they need, making sure that they know they were not forgotten, they have not been forgotten, and that they are just as important as anybody else that has been affected by tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, whatever it may be. So hold on, let's keep it going, because shaking hands right there, going in for the whisper. Now, please, don't get this twisted. I don't for a second believe that these are Biden supporters. I could be totally wrong. Especially since we've seen like somehow Democrats and like Biden and Harris and Tim Walz supporters at the Villages down in Florida, which is mind-blowing, which is usually a GOP conservative stronghold down there in the Villages. Those are the people that usually ride around the golf carts with like the racist signs on the side during their Trump rallies and shit. Yeah, those people. But somehow there's been this contingent of Democratic voters come out there with they've been having rallies, little barbecues, little get-togethers, and it's a good sign. It's a good sign. But I'm assuming these are the exact type of people that may frequent a Trump rally, say if it was in the Florida area that they live in. So let's just see how they engage with Biden. Let's see how they engage with Biden. Do they spit at him? Do they tell him to F off? Do they not shake his hand? Do they turn their back on him? Let's see how they're treating him. Oh, okay. Little kiss on the head from Joe Biden. That he's such a grandpa. He is. He's such a grandfather. Just something that a loving, caring old man would do, right? That's such a grandfather move. How much do you want to bet there was a God love you somewhere before that kiss, right? There must have been a God love you. Guaranteed there was a God love you. Let's go. There's a Luna you can see on the left-hand side of the screen there. Again, really eager to accept the help and assistance and the visiting of Joe Biden when on Twitter, social media, in other videos on other media. She's got to sing in a different tune, let's say, singing a much different tune. Kind of like the Republicans and the senators that vote against the money that comes into their areas for the infrastructure repairs and Wi-Fi and all that other stuff, and then they're right front and center at the fucking ribbon cuttings, touting that on social media how their area got $700 million or some jibba jabba that they voted against. Just it's wild. I mean, he seems to be pretty well received. I think they're pretty happy to see the president of the United States there, recognizing their situation. And again, I could be wrong. This could be a biased judgment on my case, but they don't seem to be, let's say, Kamala Harris supporters. Let's just say. I'm trying to make out what they're saying. Seems to be more of the people taking the video than it is of what Joe Biden and the rest of them are saying. But anyways, you guys get the point. Not an enraged, spiteful, hateful old man that has just been cooed out of his position as possible president for another 4 years. So yeah, let's get back into this nonsense. Just a couple more of this and we'll move on. I'm not going to do the whole thing. There's a lot we got to get to. I've already gone over on my time frame. I can never stick to the certain. All right, here we go.
Better now because now we're comparing him to her. And for the first time, he looks a little bit better, but he's a very angry guy. Look, he got 14. I'm not a fan, but he got 14 million votes. She got no votes. She never made it to Iowa. She was the first one out of 22 people running. She was the first one to drop out.
I think the whole fact that there was 22 people running might have something to say. And I believe she dropped out herself. It wasn't like she was forced out or anything. I could be wrong on that. Correct me in the chat.
We seem to be up in the swing states in every one of them. And it doesn't matter. Look, I've worked 32 days in a row and we have another.
I've worked 32 days in a row. Oh my God. What was he doing before that? Right. He's been running for how long? He's been campaigning for how long? We're 22 days away now. What the fuck you been doing the rest of the time, Chief? Fuck. 32 days. Like that's some fucking feat. Oh my God. The guy has one speaking engagement at night, goes golfing during the day. Well, he can't anymore, but that's what he used to be doing. And somehow he calls that work.
25. and I intend to work every one of them. I'm not going to take days off. Let's take a little vacation, everybody, right? We're not.
You so wish you could. You talk about it in your speech, how you could be on the beaches of anywhere else in the world, right? But you're not, because you're stuck in these fucking these regional airports talking under duress of wind.
We're running to save our country, so we're not going to be taking any vacations. We had such a day a little while ago in Butler. You saw that we had 101,000 people show.
No, you didn't. No, you fucking did not. You fucking did the fuck not. 101,000. Why add the one? Where did this extra 1,000 people come in? Wasn't it just 100,000? So we found a spare 1,000 somewhere. If every single person at that fucking rally brought 5 friends, you still wouldn't have a fucking 100,000 people. You still wouldn't have 100,000. Bullshit.
Show up. 101,000 people. A tribute to Corey, the firefighter. And
oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you, buddy. What's his name? Corey, the firefighter. What's he, a character on fucking SNL? Is this some sort of fucking movie character you're talking about? Say his fucking name, dude. What's he afraid to mispronounce his last name or something? He hates to say the guy's name.
A tribute to a lot of things. And it was an amazing, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, actually.
Well, the pictures were incredible. Are you able to register some of those people to vote?
Yeah.
Are you getting those ballots in the boxes?
We do. We're ready.
No. Nope. Actually, a lot of people that come don't vote, as you hear him talk about the gun owners don't vote, and the Catholics and Christians don't vote. He's got a lot of people that go to these fucking things that just don't like having anything to do with government whatsoever.
Register a lot of people when we do rallies and when we do things like that. And we have the endorsement of Elon, as you know, Elon Musk, who's great. He's a great guy. He had such a good time. He put the black hat on.
Why are they showing it? Why are they showing it? Oh, man. The last thing these people expected to see at Marina Barra is fucking Elon Musk's belly. You get the little underbelly going.
Deep,
I didn't even
dark MAGA.
He calls it.
Yeah, Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA has nothing to do with Dark Brandon, and it's definitely not a copy on that at all. It's definitely something totally spontaneously come up with by Elon Musk and his huge brain. He's got a huge brain, so there's no way he's just totally copying Dark Brandon at all. Fucking guys.
Dark MAGA. How cool is that, right? He calls it dark. He's a great.
Well, it's like the hat's not red, it's dark, so they call it Dark MAGA.
Guy, but he's given us a really powerful endorsement. He's out campaigning in Pennsylvania today. He's actually campaigning because he says if we don't win, we're not going to have a country.
He said this will be the.
Wait a minute. Elon Musk is campaigning, Mr. Free Speech, and that the people at Twitter should have no involvement whatsoever in politics or be biased by anybody's standards. That Elon Musk is now full-fledged, wholehearted campaigning for Donald Trump. I see. Okay.
The last election, if Donald Trump doesn't win, he's very worried about freedom of speech, censorship.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do about that?
Well, I think
no. Actually, no.
I think that we just have to win. The only thing you can do is to
Yeah, she's asking you if you win, what you're going to do about it, you fucking moron.
win. No, these are bad people. And they're surrounded by very bad people. I think they're surrounded by much worse people than they are. Joe didn't really know too much about where he was, and Kamala's worse than him. Joe is much more competent than her.
Gallup.
How does he honestly think he's going to get people to believe that? I mean, fucking really? How could he possibly think that he's going to get away? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. None. Like, his campaign people must cringe when he says that. It's like, you can't honestly get people to think that Kamala Harris is in some way in worse shape than Joe Biden. Just, please, can we get something else out there, Don? We'll just say anything else, because you sound fucking stupid, dude.
Polling says only 57% of Americans are very or somewhat confident that their votes this year will be accurately cast and counted.
Well, probably
Wait, how many? How much did she just say?
is worse than him. Joe is much more competent than her.
Gallup polling says only 57% of Americans are very or somewhat confident that their votes this year will be
57% are some. So, okay, so what was the next level down? Very fucking very confident. So does most of the people are very confident is what you're saying?
accurately cast and counted.
Well, probably
The
right.
percentage who say they are not at all confident in the vote is now 19%. It was 6% in 2008.
I don't feel confident. When you have mail-in voting,
It's all about how he feels, right? It's because who said it best? Was that Ben Shapiro guy that said, fuck your feelings? Something like that. No, it must have been facts over feelings, fuck your facts and feelings. It was something like that, but fuck your feelings, dude. We don't give a shit how you feel or what you think or what your opinion is. There's fucking cold-hearted statistics and data that we go by, not this fucking orange-crusted fucking buffoon's opinion.
Jimmy Carter had a commission on it. Nobody does mail-in voting. Now, you look at other countries, France, they go to paper ballots. France had it, and they had a lot of problems.
But you don't want to discourage people from mail-in voting.
No, I don't. Look, we have to win the election. Then we have to really fix this whole thing because you need borders.
No, he's been telling them to get out. Believe me, he's been telling them to get out and vote any way possible. So he knows damn well if you put that ballot in, it's going to be fucking counted and counted correctly, just like it was in the last election and the election before that, and the election before that. And the only instances of fucking voter fraud that were widely known were instances by Republicans that either killed their family member or just fucking straight up put on a disguise so that they could vote twice for Donald Trump, thinking that that was going to change the outcome. Very similar to the stories that we hear about the riots in 2020, when you really get down to brass tacks, you find out there was a lot of right-wing agitators there that were firing upon police stations and, starting fires and causing havoc and, making sure that this stuff did get out of control. Not saying that it was all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of them out there were not only caught doing it, but arrested and convicted for doing it too. So factual, facts over feelings. So fuck your feelings. That's what I'm saying, basically.
I built 571 miles of wall.
Not even close.
And they sold the wall for 5 cents on the dollar. It's very expensive.
The fuck you want us to do? What the fuck do you want us to do? Let the shit sit there and rot in the sun? We can't build on private land. Not going to build on Native American reservations. What do you want us to do? Just get nothing for it? At least we got something for the fucking scrap. You bought it in the first place, you stupid fuck. Blame yourself.
If it's exactly what Border Patrol wanted, they sold the wall for 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, they want open borders. They want open borders. And they're always going to want, and she's always going to want open borders.
Yeah, why?
That's the 64.
Oh, that's the what? $64 million question? Because that's a thing now?
$1,000 question.
Oh, 1,000. That's the $64,000 question, folks. Because we all know that. Because we all know that's a phrase people say often. The $64,000 question.
Why? I have no idea. Maybe they hate our country.
I like that he says he has no idea. At least he admits he has no idea. He says it. He has no idea. He has no idea why he says it.
The elements of the border has brought in Tren de Aragua, this Venezuelan gang, quite dangerous. You told us about this.
Not quite. You could.
Oh yeah, Trump told us about this. He did. He was the one. He was the first one to break this story, Maria. Right? Got to give him credit for it. For Christ's sakes.
Take the word. It's just pure dangerous. They're evil.
And you told us this back in 2015 and 2016, that Venezuela was emptying their prisons and they were coming here, and you were mocked for it. How did you know back then that the...
Wait a minute. When did he say in 2015 and 16 that they were emptying their prisons? He said that bullshit back then too? Good Lord. And nobody called him out on it? On that stupidity? Yes, have there been dealings with gangs, but from Venezuela? But if you want to really look at something, look at why Donald Trump put a stop to the I think it was the stop to the deportation of 300,000 Venezuelans. Check me on the number. Fact check me in the chat on the exact number. But I know it was a lot of Venezuelans that were not deported because Donald Trump literally signed a piece of paper on his way out of the White House. But that's rather here nor there, because who knows which one of those actually, you know how he says these stories about Venezuelan migrants killing, and he'll pick an unreported story, sometimes reported, but most of the time just making up a story whole cloth of this descriptive murder that he comes along with. How do we know that wasn't because of what you did on your last days? Did anybody ask him that? Has anybody asked him about what he did, his signing on the last days? Again, journalism, not that difficult. These are things that happened that you can look up happened. That's why we keep records of this shit, so that you can go back and say, that's what he signed. It did this. Maybe that could be a cause of this. Maybe he did this to cause problems for Joe Biden later on, knowing that he would be out of office, and that he could then attack Joe Biden for said problems, right? Don't think that Donald Trump wasn't thinking about this on his way out of the White House, where he could do the most damage to the incoming administration, so they could then use that as ammunition against the administration to run again, right? I'm sure there's many cases that you can look up where in the final days, Trump did some wild shit that didn't make any sense, that was actually more of a detriment to this country than a help. And it's basically so he could use those problems again that the Biden administrations would have to come in and clean up as ammunition to attack that administration. It's not that fucking hard.
These Venezuelan gangs were coming to America.
Common sense. It's just common sense. If I'm running Venezuela, like their gentleman who's becoming very rich because we're buying oil from Venezuela, you can believe this? He
doesn't know how anything works, does he? He really doesn't know how anything works.
have more liquid gold under our feet than anybody else, and we're buying oil from Venezuela.
He thinks the U.S. has this big fucking straw that goes down to a big pool of oil down below our feet, and we're just popping out oil cans, jerry cans full of the shit all day. And why do we buy it from other countries? We can sit here at this pump all day. Just fucking, we'll hire one of them immigrants. We'll have him sit there and pump this thing all goddamn day. We'll get our free oil. That's not how it fucking works, Donnie. The companies drill it out. The private companies drill it out. And then they put it and sell it at market price. And then we buy said oil at market price. Good grief.
He's emptying out his prisons.
No, they're not.
But he's not the only one. It's not Venezuela. It's everyone all over the world.
No, they're not.
The Congo in Africa. We've taken in hundreds of people from their prisons. The Congo.
No, we haven't.
All the way in Africa. Many, many countries. The Middle East, we're taking in massive numbers of people.
One second, I gotta blow my nose.
And many terrorists. And they're coming into our country. And they're Middle Eastern terrorists. And from Asia, we're taking in, and a lot from South America.
There was an Afghan refugee charged with plotting U.S. Election Day massacre.
Nothing surprises me.
What about that, though? Are you expecting chaos on Election Day?
No, I don't think so. Not from the side that votes for Trump.
I guarantee he didn't say anything true while I was away, so I didn't miss anything.
But I'm just wondering if these outside agitators will start up on Election Day. Let's say you win. I mean,
just listen to how fucking bored and like not excited and with it he seems, Mr. Slump in my chair, Mr. fucking, yeah, he's like Eeyore now, right? He's like an orange fucking Eeyore.
Let's remember, you've got 50,000 Chinese nationals in this country in the last couple of years. Yeah. You have people on the terrorist watch list, 350 in the last couple of years. You got, like you said, 13,000 murderers and 15,000 rapists.
Right.
Over the several administrations.
What are you expecting? Joe Biden said he doesn't think it's going to be a peaceful election day.
Well, he doesn't.
That's Maria. Come on now, Maria. Don't be twisting no shit like that. Come on now. That's not how we play around here. So there's a possibility for violence because of this asshole and his rhetoric and him telling his supporters that he's been up in the polls by 1 billion points this whole fucking time, and that the only way he's going to lose is if there's some huge widespread voter fraud, which again, people like Joe Biden, myself, and a lot of other creators and people that are in this political sphere have been saying for a long time that is a real fucking possibility. And this guy's got them all hyped up and excited to a point where they're ready to fucking do something again about it. Again, his crowd may have gotten smaller, but they've only gotten crazier. So it's the craziest ones that stick around the longest, which means we're going to have to fight the hardest right at the end. Like this whole fucking, you know, a light bulb that burns out is brightest right at the end, a star, that whole thing. These people are going to be the fiercest right down to the end, just like the Nazis were in World War II, right? They were ready to fucking keep that fight going for a long time if they had to. But let's just be very, very clear what Joe Biden was saying, that there's a very real possibility. And it's because of this motherfucker and his rhetoric.
I have any idea what's happening in Rolford as he spends most of his day sleeping. I think.
And thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you fucking anything to do those two things. It would be fantastic. I know a lot of people watch but don't subscribe for some reason. It doesn't cost you anything, I promise. Doesn't do anything to you. Doesn't all of a sudden, there's no reoccurring fees or anything like that. You subscribe, puts me on the little top of your page, lets you know when a video comes out. Hit the bell, let you know when I'm live. That's all it is. Just smash that. It'd be fucking fantastic. If you do feel like coming out of pocket with a couple dollars, $1.99 down below me is a join button somewhere that you can become a channel member. That's where you see all those fancy schmancy little things next to everybody's name. Depending on how long they've been a member, they get a different little fancy emoji. It's fucking fantastic. And again, Venmo, Cash App, blah 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 blah, that stuff. Twitch, Amazon Prime, doesn't cost you a dime. Now, all the good stuff that a good YouTuber would say right off the top of the show so that everybody knows. Yeah, that stuff. Do all that, please. Thank you.
The bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that.
Here we go. Here's the start of it, folks. The enemy from within. Now, what do you do if you think you have enemies within your borders? Right? Let's just think here. If you're not at a time of war, but you think you're being invaded, which now brings a lot of light onto why he's been using the word invasion as it pertains to the southern border, right? So when he talks about invoking the Alien and Enemies Act or the Aliens and Seditions Act, the wording of that states either at a time of war or under threat of invasion, right? So if he thinks he can convince these people that we're under some sort of real fucking invasion, he can use his executive powers to override what would naturally be a process, taken over by Congress and just basically do it himself and turn American citizens who deem from countries he deems to be enemy states. Again, this is no different. We've heard him before talk about how he'd like to do Operation Wetback all over again. The openly racist fucking undertaking that the United States did in the 50s, rounding up what they deemed as illegal immigrants, but also rounded up U.S. citizens and deported them to some place they were unfamiliar with absolutely nothing. It was a disaster back then, and it will be an absolute disaster again if we attempt it now. But again, this is where he starts his whole reasoning for this Aliens and Enemies Act or the Aliens and Seditions Act.
Have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated.
The towns and villages are being inundated. So we've seen a change, right? So we've kind of seen his rhetoric progress through the country, if that makes any sense. Like, okay, people weren't frightened enough by just saying that these dangerous people were at the border and coming over the border. Okay, they're not frightened enough by saying that they're getting into towns and homes and villages and cities by the southern border. Okay, so now what you have to do is now you have to highlight the flights that are being taken and the people flowing to Martha's Vineyard. Now you have to highlight the flights from DeSantis and the rest of these fucking assholes to different parts of the country. Now you're going to make it seem like that these people are infiltrating deeper into the country. So the deeper into the country you think these people have infiltrated, the more scared you will become, because it's not a real problem to you if it's down at the border. But if the community he's talking about through his fucking stupid lips is the community near you, then it might become real for you. So that's what he's kind of hoping to do here. He's hoping to bring it right to your doorstep because you weren't afraid enough hearing that they were coming across the border. But if these people are knocking at your fucking front door, that's what'll really fucking scare you.
But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election.
And again, that's Donald Trump rhetoric and mindset. That's not my thoughts, just to be clear on that one.
And I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're the...
And again, this is the, harmonious, bring it together, reach across the aisle, hold hands, and get along with politics rhetoric from Donald Trump, as he'd like to see the left do, right? All these right-wing commentators say they'd like to see the rhetoric toned down by the left. Fuck you. How about that? Fuck you and you fucking people. Listen to what this motherfucker's saying and then come at me.
And it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
There you go. And there we go right there, folks. Don't let that fucking, don't get it twisted. Did you hear what he said? I'll play it again. Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
The left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military. Because they can't.
So right there, one of the first times, I don't know, I could be wrong on this, but I've listened to pretty much every time this guy has spoken, right? And I have not heard him invoke the military. This is the second time I've now heard it. I posted on Twitter about the first time he said it in one of his recent speeches about invoking the military in order to combat what he is deeming an invasion. So inside our borders, using the military within our borders, inside our country, to deport what could be legal U.S. citizens, or again, think about the Haitian citizens, Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, who are here under temporary protective status, right? So here under the legal way, doing it the legal way. But J.D. Vance and Donald Trump deems it an illegal process, would deem them illegal. So even though they went about doing everything the right way and they came all the way from Haiti to Springfield, Ohio, to work, to live, to raise a family, to be a part of the community, will be wiped away in the fucking stroke of a pen, because these people deem what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, the policies that they put into place, to be illegal policies. Right? So don't get it fucking twisted. And if they don't send them back, they're going to go right into internment camps. They're going to set up these fucking camps somewhere in Montana or somewhere where nobody can fucking see them, way out in the middle of nowhere. And they'll fucking round them up there in pens. Right? Until they know what the fuck to do with these people.
Let that happen.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brad.
Let that sink in. Check this out. Here we go. So we'll go right into this. So the Aliens Enemies Act is outdated, dangerous, and ripe for abuse. Can you see this? Just want to make sure you can see this. I'll make myself a little smaller. All right. So Donald Trump has threatened to use the 1798 law to conduct mass deportations with little due process. Congress should repeal it. This article was published by Just Security. The former president, Donald Trump, has promised voters that if reelected, he would immediately invoke the Alien Enemies Act to effect mass deportations on non-citizens from Mexico. He reportedly plans to, again, he doesn't specify Mexico. I don't know why that's written like that. Maybe, when was this written? Does it say? February 28th, 2024. Right. So maybe but since then, he's now expanded that to anybody he deems that he thinks, just think about the people he says, the Congo, the fucking the people in Venezuela, China, all these people will be rounded up. Don't fucking get it twisted. Right. So he reportedly plans to apply the law broadly, targeting non-citizens who are not suspected of any cartel involvement or narcotics trafficking. By using the Alien Enemies Act, a law enacted pursuant to Congress's constitutional war powers, Trump could conduct the deportation summarily without any hearings or other process typically accorded to the non-citizens in peacetime and under immigration law. As troubling as the prospect of mass summary deportations may be, reactions to Trump's proposed use of the Alien Enemies Act have in many cases underestimated the risk at hand. Journalists and commentators have expressed doubt of whether the Alien Enemies Act could apply, citing the law's requirement that the United States to be in a declared war or face a, quote, this is where we got to listen, ears, quote, invasion or predatory incursion. Right? So that's where Trump's, it's an invasion at the southern border. They're all predators coming across the southern border. So he's trying to fulfill both of those requirements. Right? This is exactly, don't Stephen Miller is behind this at some fucking point. Stephen Miller is behind this because Trump ain't this fucking smart to know how to use this language. I can tell you that much right now. So somebody a long time ago has thought about this, which is even fucking scarier to think about. Right? Perpetrated by a, quote, foreign nation or government. Some have suggested that the courts would strike down Trump's scheme on those grounds. But again, they could be implemented, and then the fight in court would ensue afterwards as the process is going along, which, again, who knows the amount of damage that could happen just in that time alone. But what if, do we know that the Supreme Court is going to fucking be on the side of human beings? Or are they going to be on the side of Donald Trump if he tries to pull this shit off? I think you can guess which one they'd be on. These commentators are correct, of course, on the merits of whether an invasion exists or cartels constitute a foreign government, but the court's history of treating, quote, political questions as non-justiciable, quote, suggests that the judges are unlikely to address these arguments on the merits. The court would likely avoid opining on the presence or absence of an invasion or predatory incursion, as they are even less likely to probe whether the perpetrator of the supposed invasion or incursion is a foreign nation or government. The court's hesitance to weigh in on the questions heightens the risk that Trump will invoke the Alien Enemies Act despite its clear inapplicability. But that does not mean mass deportations based on a wartime authority are inevitable. Congress can change the law. And even if Congress fails to do so, the courts may strike down an invocation of the Alien Enemies Act under the modern due process and equal protection law, justiciable grounds for checking abusive presidential action. So again, this is the same thing. I don't know. A little bit about what it is, just so you know exactly what he's talking about. So in 1798, during the undeclared quasi-war with France, Congress enacted the notorious Alien and Sedition Act, known primarily for its infringement on the freedom of speech. 3 of the 4 Alien and Sedition Acts were allowed to lapse or were repealed shortly after the enactment. Only the Alien Enemies Act, which had no sunset date, continues to exist on the books. I don't know why that just did that. I should probably click that. Oh, where'd it go now? There it is. The Alien Enemies Act, largely unmodified since 1998, empowers the president to detain and deport non-citizens in times of declared war or presidentially proclaimed invasion or predatory incursion by a foreign or nation or government. So the law permits the president to target a broad swath of non-citizens, including all, quote, native citizens. What's that fucking that? What is that word? Denizens? Or subjects of the hostile nation or government. It does not distinguish between non-citizens who are lawfully presented in the United States and non-citizens with established legal status, such as permanent residents, nor does the law distinguish between loyal and disloyal non-citizens. The Alien Enemies Act does not require the president to establish or even believe that the detained or deported non-citizens pose a threat to the national security. Rather, it is enough that the non-citizen was born in, has the passport of, or resides in the wrong country. So it doesn't matter who the fuck you are or what you did. And I'll show you an example of this. Show you this as an example. Let me take this, put that up there. Can you see this? This is just a little, fuck. Now I got to remove Instagram. I don't know why they take me off every hour. It's just the most ridiculous thing that you can only go for an hour on Instagram. Anyways, we'll put that back up later. But this is just one instance, one story of what could possibly happen to citizens, legal citizens of this country, their families, the people that they love, the people that brought them to this nation. This is just a little instance of what happened. Oh, thanks, big dog. First time watcher. Really glad I stumbled in. Facts over fear. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope your favorite football team's kicking ass right now, too. I apologize that I'm bringing everybody away from that. But luckily now everybody has 17 fucking devices and you can watch on multiple different streams. So I guarantee you're not missing a thing. But thank you so much, Big God, for being here. But this is just a little bit of what could happen. I want to make sure that we're clear on this one. So let me go into this, play a little bit of this.
My name is Yoji Matsushima. I was born in Portland, Oregon. I grew up in Old Town or Nihonmachi.
Just check right off the bat. Born in Portland, Oregon, right? Just let's just be clear on that. Born in Portland, Oregon. No different than you or I in that regard. Born in the United States.
on 3rd and Davis Street. That was my home. My father was born in Okayama, Japan, 1899, and my mother was born in 1909. It was arranged marriage.
So for anybody just listening, it says Yoji's father, Umata Matsushima, was a prominent businessman in Portland's Japantown, Nihonamachi, prior to World War II. So a prominent businessman. Even though he immigrated from Japan to the United States, became a prominent businessman, and we'll see what happened to him. After Pearl Harbor, he was picked up by the FBI along with hundreds of other Japanese immigrants, the SI. Oh, let me get out of the way so you can see it. There's something behind my face. How do I just make it just the screen? Let me do this. There were no charges filed, is what it says.
My father and my uncle both got arrested on December the 11th. The money from the store was all confiscated.
The money from the store was all confiscated, gone, right off the bat. First thing that happens, you lose your business, you lose your ability to buy your way in and out of situations. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. It doesn't matter how prominent a businessman you are. Doesn't matter what you did for society, how much you contribute to society. If Donald Trump deems you to be from a country that is trying to invade us, in his words or in his mind, then this is a possibility. This is a real fucking possibility for you if you're watching.
They couldn't touch the money. He ended up at Rocky View Jail for about 2 weeks. Then he was transferred to Missoula, Montana toward the end of December.
Sorry, for the people just listening. Fort Missoula, Montana was one of several special internment camps run by the U.S. Department of Justice, or DOJ. Mr. Matsushima was transferred again to another DOJ camp in New Mexico.
That was taken in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that picture showed the group from Portland. I believe there was about 70.
Thank you, Stoneflower Dragon, for the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Anybody that donates gifts, memberships, I mean, is a huge reason this channel keeps continues to grow, and the reason that I'm able to do this. The people, anybody that gets a membership gifted to them, make sure you're saying thank you to the person that gifted it to you, because that is a financial responsibility that they've taken on. To allow you to be here for a free month. And after that free month, if you could decide upon yourself, if you're still watching, to, re-up on that membership, that would be fucking fantastic. We have people that have been here 6, 7 months. I don't even know how long it's been now, but thank you so much, Stoneflower Dragon. That's very, very nice of you. Then a hugely important topic, because I know this is a long time ago, maybe some people may think, but if you think about it, really, not that fucking long ago. Not that fucking long ago, and not that far off from what is possible for us to see if Donald Trump gets back into office. That's not what I want to play. This is
The 8 that were in that picture. They were considered POWs, enemy aliens.
right off the bat. No matter what they did, they were considered enemy aliens. Enemy aliens, POWs, prisoners of war. Right? Even though they were living in the United States, contributing to our society, rounded up like they meant nothing, stripped of all their rights, stripped of their money, told that they were POWs now and that they were enemy aliens. It says in the summer of 1942, Yoji and the rest of his family were sent to the Minidoka incarceration camp in Idaho. So bounced around all over the fucking place.
We were separated for over 2 years.
Unbelievable. Imagine that. Separated for 2 years from his family. 2 fucking years.
Almost 2 years. My mother and dad, through
Look at the conditions too. Look at those fucking conditions. You're telling me that this is humane in any way? I mean, we had German POWs treated better than Japanese citizens of this country, than African American citizens of this country. German POWs were allowed to eat in cafes that African Americans weren't. German POWs could walk the streets of towns that African Americans could not. Think of that. Fucking put that one through your fucking skull and see if that makes any fucking sense on the way out.
The Red Cross communicated, and they decided that they were going to repatriate to Japan during the war. I had a brother and a sister in Japan, and they wanted the family together, and they...
So basically what the United States does is they made it illegal for you to have any connections with, family in, or ties to the Japanese homeland whatsoever. And again, I know this was a time of war and it's different circumstances now, but Donald Trump is threatening to enact the same fucking policy that brought us this under false pretenses. This was at least a real world war, a real engagement, a real bloody battle. And again, obviously not at this point, so there's no excuses whatsoever. And no, nor am I making any. This is fucking horrendous on every single level. But I just want you to, I want to get that excuse out of your head. Well, we're not at war, so how could he do this? Well, if he can somehow base this, his baseless claims that he has about the southern border and use that as pretenses of an invasion, then that's how he justifies using this act.
thought that it might be better if...
Yeah, throw those emojis in the chat, dude. Mel fucking knocked it out of the pocket, those things. Dump some of those fucking fire emojis in the chat right now, please. Let's get it going. Get that chat fired up. Let's go.
we were together.
This is serious shit, too. You know what I mean? We need the most amount of people with eyes on this because this is an absolute fucking reality, people. An absolute fucking reality. So the more you type in the chat, the more engagement you have, the more YouTube knows that people are watching this and engaged with this, and they will send it out to people. So that's why we need to get that fight up. I understand this is a hugely serious situation. But again, the more eyeballs on this, the more knowledge about this, the better it is for everybody. It would mean entering into a prisoner of war exchange program. It says on the screen for anybody just listening.
You have diplomats.
And again, if you're just joining us right now, we're watching about Yoji Matsushima, who is explaining to us about his experiences and his family's experiences during World War II in the Japanese internment camps. Right now, we're talking about how Donald Trump could invoke the Alien Enemies and Seditions Act to do pretty much the same fucking thing we're looking at now. So I want to make this very, very clear. I want to make it very, I don't know, like it's not an impossibility, right? Like this did happen in our country. We, the government of the United States, did this to United States citizens, and it can happen again. That's why I'm showing you this, and I appreciate you sticking with me.
People, families that were stuck in Japan or maybe in somewhere else like Philippines, and they wanted to repatriate, come back. They would exchange one prisoner for one for one. There was a Swedish ship called Gripzone. We went from Minidoka to New Jersey, and we were by the dock side of the ship, and we didn't see my dad. He never came out.
Said the family was eventually reunited, but somehow their names had been left off the Gripzone's manifesto, and they couldn't sail to Japan as planned. The U.S. government had the family board a train to another DOJ internment camp instead. Listen to this journey. Listen to this whole fucking shit show that they have been forced to undertake just for being Japanese. Unfucking real. That's not it. What I was playing either.
Well, we found out that we're going to go to a place called Crystal City, Texas.
There you go. There's your camp in the United States of America, right there. Barbed wire, guard posts.
Which is about 40 miles from the border of Mexico. And we didn't even know that there was a camp like that.
I bet a lot of people in the country were unwise to the fact that we had camps like that.
It was a family internment camp.
Wives could voluntarily join their POW husbands at this camp.
But we had German families and Italian families and Japanese families.
That's a lesser known story. I mentioned that earlier. The fact that we did this to Japanese citizens, they weren't the only ones. Italian citizens, German citizens, basically anybody that the United States deemed to be a threat in any way, shape, or form because they had, like I said, family back in Germany or Japan or Italy, whether they had some business dealings, whatever it may be, whatever they thought would be a hindrance to them living in this country. They use that as the justification to round these people up and send them to live in places like this, which, as we know today, is absolutely fucking gross and inhumane.
And people from Peru and South America, very interesting group. The Germans were segregated from the Japanese, not by wire, it was just different area. One thing is we were under the Geneva Convention rules, and the best thing about that was that instead of barracks, we were in cabins. Each family had a kitchen of their own.
Just being happy about a kitchen, right? Just the fact that you had a kitchen of your own must have been a fucking huge development after all these years of back and forth and camp to camp, having everything taken from you, trying to get your family over from Japan, trying to reunite with your wife and your kids. I mean, just an absolute disaster.
It wasn't much of a kitchen, but we had a kerosene stove and we had icebox, real icebox that they would deliver.
An icebox, aka refrigerator,
or ice to every day. And
or was it literally just a box that you put the ice in? I always thought an icebox was like a fridge or a freezer type deal, but
they would deliver milk every day. And my mother would go down to the grocery store and buy groceries every day and use
sounds like normal living, right? Sounds like if you were to listen to him talk and you close your eyes, you didn't see the video, you'd think, oh, he's got a cabin, he's got the milk delivered, his mom goes down to the supermarket and, they work and they got this and that. And then you look at the actual, like what he's talking about as a supermarket, and you look at what he's talking about as the cabin and the amenities that he's just so happy to have after all these years of not being with his family and stuff, It's wild.
Special camp money made out of plastic.
Not even real money, right? So they didn't even give them fucking U.S. currency. They're just based like fucking monopoly money they were using. Families were released about 6 months after the war ended. After the war ended, right? That's fucking crazy. So May 1945, June, July, August, September, October, November. So November of 1945, after the entirety of the U.S. involvement in the war.
April the 3rd, 1946.
Okay, so I was off a few months.
I remember that day. I remember Mrs. Horigami on the bus.
Yeah, even 6 months after, they probably held them, Jillian. You know what I mean? This is probably a huge stain. A lot of the things, almost like Gitmo and the stuff that we were doing in the early stages of the Iraq invasion in Afghanistan, as far as, or after 9/11, as far as trying to get information out of terrorists and POWs and stuff like that, and what we could do. A lot of it at the beginning was thought as to be very necessary and as gross and inhumane as it is, and we found out later, and everybody was in uproar about it, that some points that's thought as to be necessary, like in war, right? If you think of war, if you're in a situation where, it's you and there's two other people there and that you're enemies and it's either you or them, nobody wants to be in that situation. That's not a situation you want to be into, but that situation calls for you to do whatever you have to do to get the fuck out of that situation, right? War is hell. War is war. So it's just like a lot of the things that were, and then you talk about that same situation after, try to explain it or anything like that, then there's going to be a different reaction to it. So this is the same thing. This is the same thing. A lot of the things we thought very necessary and justified at the beginning of the war, at the end of the war, the American people were outraged at. The bombing of Dresden, let's take that, or the bombing of Tokyo, for example. During the war, obviously our air command and our military strategists thought that to be a necessary development and a necessary action to take during the war. But then the American public thought it otherwise, thought it to be inhumane and unjustified. Tokyo, over 100,000 people died, I believe. Dresden, over 100,000 people died, I believe. So again, the firebombing of both those places at the time by our military strategist and by our air command thought was a justified target and a necessary thing to take out the morale of the people that were to work at the factories and the roar and all that stuff. So again, there's things that you take, there's actions that you take at the time where you think are necessary and justified that we now look upon in hindsight and know that they aren't. So let me just go back to this. Oh no, is that, hold on. I do apologize. I'm not going to cut the man off. I'm going to let it go to the end.
Going to the city of Uvalde, Texas, to catch our train.
Oh, Uvalde. Where have we heard that before? Where has that name been in the news? That town rings a bell a little bit.
She was just jumping up and down. Like, I didn't think that Issei ladies would do something like that, but she was just so happy.
It says Matsushima family traveled back to Portland where they started their lives all over again.
When we came out from camp, the government didn't give us anything.
Imagine that. Nothing for all their troubles. Take their jobs, take their business, take their money, take their livelihood, their homes, their property, fucking ship them around the fucking West Coast, up and down the seaboard to different camps and, separate them from their family. And at the end of all that, just fucking open the doors, let them out with what they got and say, piss off, you people. Nothing. Imagine getting nothing for that.
They gave us a train ticket home and $25.
A train ticket home and $25, like they were a fucking prostitute. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. There's $25 for your troubles and a train ticket out of here, fucking toots. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like the 40s and shit. Fucking unreal. Unreal.
And that was it.
Right. Didn't want to cut the gentleman off. But yeah, like I said, that you might think of that as, oh, wow, that's way in the past, Bri. There's no chance of that happening anymore. Well, I guarantee if you asked a lot of the American public at the time if there was a chance of that happening to people, U.S. citizens that live and reside and work and help in this fucking country, they would have thought that to be crazy at the time too, right? That is absolutely a possibility. Donald Trump talks about it at every fucking speech, every single speech he gives, he talks about it, right? He may not talk about the Alien and Enemies Act in every speech, but he talks about the demonization of immigrants. He talks about them murdering and plundering our countries and taking over cities and MK-47s, right? Right? Where do you think that whole MK-47 comes in? That's what he's saying.
You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it very well. I've become an expert on guns.
Right. So when he brings that up, I know the MK-47 is the funny part of the sentence, but he's actually trying to get you to again, be afraid of Venezuelan immigrants, be afraid of people from the Congo. When he says the Congo, he's trying to talk what he means when he says the Congo is really black, right? That's what he means. Let's just be straight out in the open on that one, right? So he's when he says other African countries, they're not really scaring people. So when he talks about the Congo, He's trying to get a little, these are the really dark fucking people. Like these are the really fucking danger. Like that's what he's trying to get across, right? We all know that's ridiculous fucking nonsense, but that's the message that he's trying to get across. I mean, there's a million of them that you can talk about. What's the one he does?
This week it was reported that an illegal alien, and you just look at this, what's happening.
Right. So even that he's trying to talk about an illegal alien. It's fucking his whole speech. Every fucking
Welcome to our country from the Congo. Where do you live in the Congo? We live in prison. Oh,
right. So pretty much every sound drop, every bite that I have from this motherfucker is in some way, shape, or form talking about illegal immigration, trying to get you to fear immigrants.
Venezuela. Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela. It's unbelievable.
See, there he's trying to talk about Venezuela. What else do we got? There's a fucking million of them. Even when he says this,
the big, fat, sloppy United States.
No, I'm just kidding. That's just funny. But all right, let's hop right into this one then. This is so when I talk about two chuckle fucks sitting down together having a ridiculous conversation. I was also talking not only about Maria Bartiromo and Donald Trump, but also these two fuckbags right here. Right. So this is fucking Douglas McGregor and oi, the fucking right boy here, Russell Brand, talking nonsense again. And let me just bring this in. Nope. I'd like to add there. Nope, that ain't doing it either. There we go. All right. So these two somehow decided to link up and have a conversation. Douglas McGregor, who is a fucking just a mind-blowing figure to me, who should have the knowledge and know-how after his career in the military to refute like a rebuttal, right? He should be able to give a rebuttal. Come on, quicker on it, bro. You got to be quicker on it. Where is it? It's here somewhere. There it is.
Stupid people. When I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal. Refutal or a rebuttal? What the hell word would that be? Rebuttal? What they'll say, he didn't know rebuttal or refutal, but they don't know either."
Oof. Yeesh. Right? Woo, baby. Right? So why these two are talking, I don't know. Douglas McGregor, who has recently been known for his pro-Russian propagandistic fucking outlook, his anti-Ukraine sentiment, and obviously you guys know Russell Brand as the womanizing fucking loser that he is. Let's just get into a little bit of their convo and see what Russian nonsense they're talking about.
The honor is all mine, by the way.
Thank you. We met yesterday at the Rescue the Republic event in which we were participating, and it seems to me that...
And again, I didn't pre-watch this. I have no idea. It just says, I know what it said at the... I saw the title. Fuck, now I'm going to have to do this. It says, Trump will end the war in Ukraine. Colonel Douglas McGregor on Ukraine, Iran, the border, in World War III. So, found it to be an interesting topic for a colonel to be talking about, and I don't think his rhetoric and insight is going to be exactly what you thought it would be from a U.S. colonel. But here we go. Or former, excuse me.
This is an important time to rescue the Republic. Now, this is a conversation that has to happen simultaneously on various planes.
And also, if I remember correctly, Douglas McGregor served as a senior advisor to the Trump administration also.
The individual level, the level of absolute subsidiarity, the local level, power connected to people.
The local level, the power. Why is he sitting like that?
That can make an impact using the levers of politics that are already available to them to influence their communities, particularly in a time leading up to an election. But there is also, of course, a global dimension and pressing potential Armageddon. The reason, I suppose...
Potential Armageddon. All right, here we go. I guess that's the World War III aspect. We'll finally get into it.
That I'm asking this question right now is because of the strikes within Lebanon, and also...
All right, so I don't care about your take on that. Let me skip ahead.
Been for some time. Ukrainians have been bled white. And
Ukrainians, all right, that was a good point to stop at. Ukrainians have been bled white. Let's go back 10 seconds and see what he's talking about there.
I think the war in Ukraine is effectively over militarily and has been for some time.
Do explain, sir. Do fucking explain. And again, it's more likely that the war would be over on the side as the Ukrainians as the victor in this one. If you were to end the war now, I'd say the job that the Ukrainians have done, considering this was supposed to be a 72-hour military operation by the Kremlin. Can we just get that through our fucking skulls here? This was supposed to be a 72-hour operation. Right into the center of Kyiv, 72 hours done, it was gone. We are now over 2 years on to this fucking thing, and the Ukrainians are still kicking their ass. Still kicking their ass. Is it a war? Has it gone back and forth? Are there high notes? Are there low notes? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you were to end it right now, I think, Vladimir Putin is going to have some trouble keeping his job, let's just say. Because I don't know if you've heard, but Russia is now running out of cemeteries. Did you hear that one? Did you hear that one? Ready? Russia running out of cemeteries. Here we go. Newsweek. Share this tab instead. Can you see it? Let me make myself a little smaller. Now, does this sound like something that would happen in on the victorious side of a war? Would the victors, to the victors go the spoils, not running out of cemeteries? Does this sound like a country that is now winning the war, a vast war that they are winning? Right? Let's take a look. Let's just take a look. Russia, quote, Russia is running out of cemeteries. October 11th, 2024. Russia is running out of cemeteries and crematoriums, a state Duma deputy chair has said, amid Pentagon estimates that Moscow has suffered more than 600,000 deaths in the war in Ukraine. The country is struggling to keep up with the demand for cemeteries and crematoriums, says Svetlana Razvorodneva. Svetlana Razvorodneva. That's not bad. That's not bad. Second try, I got it. The deputy chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Construction and Housing and Utilities in the State Duma, which is the lower house of Russia's national legislator. She said that the main issue is federal law and only allowing municipal organizations to be involved in burials, according to the Komsomolskaya Pravda, translated from Russian, with cities in interview in another newspaper, Parlamentskaya Gazeta. Quote, it is impossible to create any private cemeteries, crematoriums, or other ritual facilities. It is impossible to attract capital and investment to this area from outside other than state ones, she said, and yet they are very much needed. So basically, Vladimir Putin is making sure that only the state is responsible for burials, crematoriums, anything like that. Because if there was any public involvement, right, if there was any private, business owners in cemeteries, crematoriums, whatever it may be, funeral homes, that type of thing, they would then see and know of the slaughter being undertaken and committed upon their people, basically by Vladimir Putin. And basically the death rate has increased almost exponentially in Russia since the start of the Ukraine war, which is obvious. We can see why, but this goes on. This does go on. The Parlamentskaya Gazeta interview now appears online in abbreviated form with the words cemeteries removed. Raznoretneva said the law adopted in 1996 is outdated and no longer able to meet Russia's needs. The need for crematoriums is very high today, she said, adding that this is fuck off, you motherfucker. Adding this is an especially serious issue in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Yekaterinburg, meaning people are sometimes forced to travel outside of their cities to use cremation services elsewhere. So that's another strategy, right? So if you make the people travel outside of their region, outside of their state, outside of their province, whatever it may be, then that province doesn't get to see doesn't get to see the whole process, right? And whereas if you saw a crowded crematorium or a crowded funeral home every day of the week in your fucking area, in your town, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? How is this place packed to the gills every single day with fucking different soldiers, Russian soldiers coming home in body bags from Ukraine, right? It would give the people an idea that maybe they're not winning this war. Maybe they're not winning. This is there is only one crematorium per 5 million Russians today, the Gazeta reports. Raznovertsneva comments come as a senior U.S. Department of U.S. U.S. Department of Defense official said it is believed Ukraine has inflicted more than 600,000 casualties on Russian forces. So please, do go on, Gregor. Please, any moment you can go on. That would be great. No, you can talk. I said you could talk. There you go.
Ukrainians have been bled white, and whatever we do to try and help them at this point is not going to work.
Just fucking nonsense. Just absolute fucking nonsense. How could you possibly say that assistance, whether it be aid in the form of food, clothing, fucking pop-up shelters, tents, money, whatever the fuck it may be, or in the case of the war side, whether or not ammunition, defense materials, rockets, the whole fucking 9 yards, how would that not help a country in war with Russia? How? Please do explain how that wouldn't work. Why is this not going to work?
And it's inhumane, frankly, because they've lost 600,000 soldiers killed in this war. Those are
Wait a minute. Did he? Whoa, Dougie. Are you trying to make it sound like Ukraine has lost that many, sir?
To try and help them at this point is not going to work. And it's inhumane, frankly, because they've lost 600,000 soldiers killed in this war. Those are World War I level statistics.
Wait, so do you see what he's doing there? Everybody sees what he's doing there, please? Everybody notices that? It's considering we just read the article saying that Russia's running out of cemeteries due to the fact that they've lost 600,000 soldiers. Do we see what's going on here? Because now he's trying to flip the script and say that it's Ukraine that has lost that many soldiers. I do believe that's what he's trying to get through here.
During World War I, we fought for a total of 110 days in World War I. That's all we were in there for. And
110 days. All right, Pearl Harbor, December 1941, declaration of war. I'll tell you that out there. War ended 1945. Is he talking about just the fact that we were on the beaches in 1944? Is that what he's trying to say? So we had no involvement in the war whatsoever up until we landed on the beaches of... Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. All right, great. Okay, he's talking about World War I, right? Did I get that wrong? Let's play that again.
One level statistics. During World War I, we fought...
Okay. All right. Gotcha. My mistake. Thought he was talking about World War II. Thank you. Good catch.
For a total of 110 days in World War I. That's all we were in there for. And in 110 days, we had 110,000 deaths and 200,000 casualties, in other words, wounded. So that's why I say the loss of 600,000 lives is horrific.
By Russia.
Then when you compare that with the numbers of Ukrainians that have left the place.
See, he is trying to put that on Ukraine. He is trying to put that on Ukraine because he's now saying not only have they lost 600,000 soldiers, but he's also trying to now add that to the number of civilians that have left Ukraine. So he's not, again, flip everything that he's saying around, right, and put it onto Russia. So we all heard about the ridiculous number of Russians that left at the beginning of this war, right? People were fucking breaking their arms, their legs, punching themselves in the teeth, jumping in front of trains and planes and automobiles, trying to get the fucking excuse to get the fuck out of this war, right? All their educated people, the fucking scientists, the fucking engineers, anybody that is of an educated status is smart enough to get the fuck out of there, got the fuck out of there. So again, flip the script on everything he's saying and put it back onto Russia, and then you'll get a real aspect of what's going on in this war.
The Ukrainian nation itself is practically dead.
God, that fucking hurt. The fact that Donald Trump also said something similar in his interview just days or the day of his meeting with Zelensky, where he said the Ukrainians, what did he say? Let me get it right. Did the Ukrainian spirit is dead, or the Ukrainian, something along those lines, just basically saying that the Ukrainians were demoralized people, which is fucking absolutely ridiculous to say. Let's see here. Let's see if I can just show you. make this. No, I'm running out of time. So, yeah. Nope. 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 Probably not going to have time. If I had enough time, I'd be able to find you pictures of. I could find you pictures, but they wouldn't be recent. You know what I mean? Of people with utter exuberance for defeating Russia and making sure they get their Donbass, the Crimea, making sure they get their territories back. It's fucking insane to say that they have lost their resolve. We know how tough it is, again, from World War I and World War II, how tough it is for the resolve of a country to be lost. You have to be almost entirely defeated to a point where you just are incapable of doing anything anymore before that even happens. We saw that. We tried to bomb the German citizens into submission. We tried to bomb the Japanese citizens into submission. All it did is strengthen their resolve. It did not work. So, again, the fact that this guy went this long in his military career and this is the bullshit that he's trying to pull. He's sitting down with a fucking an accused sexual abuser of many women right now is a fucking disgrace.
And that's what people in the West don't seem to understand. We've been pushing this war and insisting that we fight to the last Ukrainian. Well, we're getting close.
No, we are not. Not a fucking chance. Nowhere near are we getting to the last Ukraine. That's utter bullshit, nonsense, fucking a fallacy, a made-up story, not based in reality. I don't know how else to call that out. It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Ukraine itself may not survive this.
Yes, they will. They will absolutely survive this. The only question is, how much territory are they going to get back? Are they going to get it all back? Or are we going to somehow let Trump sneak into that White House and then Ukraine loses every bit of territory that Russia now steps foot on? That's our choices.
But I don't see a major war breaking out there. And the reason I say that is because...
What do you think is going on right now? You fucking meatball. You just talked about the number of deaths. You just talked, like, what the fuck does he think is going on right now? It's not a world war because there's not enough fucking countries involved. That's the whole point. It's a fucking war. It's a fucking war, just like Donald Trump says all the time. It's not going to be a battle of tanks on tanks. It's not going to be shooting war. That's exactly what the fuck is going on, actually. It's tank on tank. It's drone on drone. It's drone on fucking infantry. It's drone on truck. It's artillery on citizen. You know, it's the whole shebang of what we got in World War II and beyond is happening right now in Ukraine and in Russia, because there's been several explosions in Russia across the last few days. And shit, I'm running out of time. All right, give me, how can I split this up? All right, give me a couple more minutes of these assholes. And then the Ukrainian intelligence released a video of their Boba drone making a good strike. Yeah. Sounds a bit more Australian than I should, but it's all right. It's all right. You get the point. You get the point. But yeah, they released a good video that I wanted to check out before we knocked off anyway. And it doesn't look like we're going to get the Donald Trump. And I don't think anybody's too mad about that.
Because as you pointed out earlier, very recently, Putin made a public statement and simply said that this business of long-range strikes into the heart of Russia, into its cities, and putting its own military power, particularly its nuclear deterrent, at risk, it's unacceptable. And that if any third party, in other words, a nation...
I keep forgetting, too, we're now on Facebook, Blunt Politics, Facebook. Let me see if I can go there just so I can show you. Because it's just Blunt Politics. That's it. Not Blunt Politics Podcast. It's just Blunt Politics. And if you don't see my ugly mug as the picture, it's not the right one. We need, I think, like 40-something more friends or whatever the fuck they're called on there to go live on Facebook. That way we can stir shit up on Facebook, too, because a lot of parents, a lot of fucking older boomers on there looking around for something. So, you know, if we can hop onto their space and start yelling in their territory, that would be fucking fantastic. Let me see if I can share this. Here we go. Right here. This one. So make sure you guys are following the right one. It's this one. This is the picture. Says 59 followers. So I need 41 more. All I need is 100. Just 100. Come on. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can get there. It's only 100. We can do it. We can do it. I know we can. All right. Actually, let me go to that video because I don't give a fuck about this guy anymore. I keep forgetting how long the show is going to be. Is it supposed to be 1 to 3? Or am I going 1 to 4 because the games are on at 1 and I fucking forget now. I don't even know. All right, so we did this one, and now I'm gonna go here and show you what. No, I don't want to go to that. Stop it. Okay, YouTube. I think it was on Canal. I think it was on Canal 13. Yeah, that's what it was. Canal 13. Go to my history, and then scroll down a little bit, and we're gonna find the Canal 13 video. Canal 13 video. Couldn't have been that far away. How does this happen? Let's see here. Let's see here. Did I go buy it? How did I go buy it? Well, that's Kamala arriving. Let's see if I explain. Nope, that's it right there. Oh, come on. All right, so I'll just go to this. Canal 13. Let's see here. Let's see here. Why is everything so difficult for me to find when I want to find it? Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Just give me the recent videos. 1 day ago, Ukraine struck the. Oh, this is it right here, I think. Ukraine fired with machine gun. Let's see if this is it. One second. Hold the horses. Hold your horses. It's just being slow. It's right here. How's that? There we go. We're working. We're working. We're working. Not gonna lie, I don't think that's a video though. Let's see here. What can I look at? All right, let me see on my phone. Bear with me. I know it's there. I don't know why it wouldn't be in my goddamn history. No, I can't watch myself. That's weird. All right, here we go. History. Sometimes things work out on this. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it is. It's literally the last thing I watched. I'll hit it again. Should show up on here. Refresh. All right, here we go. There it is. Can you see it?
Ukrainian
yes, here we go.
Attacked an oil base in the occupied city of Refuting, Lugansk region. Local telegram channels reported on this. As a result of a drone strike, an explosion and fire occurred in one of the reservoirs at the oil base.
Never good. Never good. Fire, oil plant base, whatever you want to call it. Never good. Never good.
No casualties are reported. The information was confirmed by the Ukraine.
It's amazing that the Ukrainians seem to be able to take out the targets that they want to take out without killing civilians in the area, right? Or at a time where maybe nobody's at the plant, instead of doing it in broad daylight at a fucking supermarket or an outdoor market like Russia loves to do to Ukraine. Somehow Ukraine is just take out the target. That's all. Almost like it's like they're like a gentleman's war. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go after your fucking civilians. It's stupid. We're going to take out your ability to conduct war. We're going to take out your ability to fuel your trucks and ships and submarines and all that bullshit. So that's what we'll go at. But we're not gonna target anybody else. We'll make sure it's at night so nobody's working at the fucking place. Just seems like that's how they do things.
Ukrainian headquarters. It is noted in the.
I don't always agree with Hal. I just like the guy. We're not here to always agree with each other. I don't want anybody to get that twisted, right? What's that saying? You know, there's a whole. If you agree with me, fucking 3 out of 10 times or 5 out of 10 times, it's good. But if you agree with me 10 out of 10 times, there's something wrong. I mean, we should never agree all the time. That's just, it shouldn't be the way to go. I don't think it should ever happen. And we should be allowed to have discussions that go back and forth with each other. And as long as we're all respectful and it's entertaining and you can get your point across and get somebody to respond, that's why we're here. It's not, we don't want this to become an echo chamber of just people agreeing with each other. Disagreement is healthy. Disagreement is very healthy.
Information that oil products intended for the needs of the Russian army were kept at the base.
You're very right. You are very right. Who said it? Denise. Very right, Denise. And that's not the comment that I would. LOL, I used to be hellish troll king. I couldn't keep up with the ball dance for a few hours. Hold on. I was looking for Denise. Where'd you go? There she is. Yeah, so you turned it to me. So I've seen a lot of instances of people on social media going after somebody. I don't know if, sometimes in a joking manner, and I get it. And I do the same thing. I'm fucking ruthless on social media as myself. So I'm kind of coming at myself here too, right hand up. I'll put my right hand up on this. But we tend to kind of stoop down to their level on certain things that we disagree with ourselves, or that we would have a definite problem with if somebody was said it to us, right? So we're not here to harm anybody. We don't want to see anybody dead. You know what I mean? We want to see Donald Trump alive and well to stand trial and see his accountability come to see his fucking justice come to him. We want to, that's it. We've seen a lot of that on social media, and it's just, I don't want us to stoop to that level. Like I said, if they want to play in the mud, I'll play in the fucking mud. But there's certain things that we don't want to, can't be hypocritical about, just it ruins our credit. Basically, it takes credit away from us, where if we don't like something and we do it ourselves, who's to listen to us?
The extent of the damage is determined.
See here.
Another UAV hit the runway. It was partially destroyed.
This is another strike on an airfield. Hold on. I think he goes back and he says what airplanes were at this airfield. There's a lot of airplanes that could have been taken out at this airfield.
The Telegram channel ASTRA reports this, citing its sources. The publication also reports that the runway was partially destroyed. During attack on the Konskaya airfield in Adygia, one of the drones hit an ammunition depot. According to sources, as a result, an X-31 missile, 3 X-35 missiles and 15 UMBP aerial bombs detonated.
Let's go.
Also lost were 41 unified planning and correction modules, which are installed on aerial bombs, increasing their range by tens of kilometers, 20 UMP.
Sounds like a big strike to me. Right? Anything that takes their ability to shoot their missiles in a longer range, good with me. Taking out their ability to launch planes from that runway, fine with me. Sounds good to me, brother. Sounds good to me. All right, let's see what else here. Let's see what else we got. Let's go on the old Reddit. We got about 5 minutes. Should we get into asshole? I think we should. Let's get into 5 minutes of asshole. It'll be healthy for us. It'll be healthy. I don't know. I don't want full screen. I want to go back. Here we go. RSBN network sucks. We got 5. Oh, no. Is he live right now? Let's check in and see what's going on at the Trump rally as we speak. Absolutely nothing. I feel like I'm on hold, right? I feel like I'm on hold. Well, where is everybody? What are they just letting it play? Nobody cares? What's back here? Anything? Yeah, let's hear what they're talking about.
I have seen things change drastically. The prices on houses have gone up completely, and that's something that I think is like a 20-year-old, like about to graduate college in 2 years. I want to buy a house, and it's really hard to when the prices are going up.
Right. I love how you also have like older people being like, look at how fucking, dude, our house is worth so much now. This is so great. Equity, let's fucking go. And then other people are like, no, house prices can't be that high, which, let's face it, they're fucking high. There's a point where they just cannot continue to go up and up and up and have it be feasible for people. And again, justifiably and right hand up, this lady's situation, or somebody coming out of college, it's extremely difficult. I did it myself. It was extremely difficult for me. I still don't own a home to my name. I live in an apartment. So believe me, I'm in the same boat as you people, but I still don't think that Joe Biden's out there setting fucking home prices, right? I don't think Donald Trump's going to reverse home prices all of a sudden. He may lower home prices. That's because everything is going to be worth less. You're right.
Gas is going up. Groceries are going up. I saw a video of someone comparing what they bought in Walmart 3 years ago to today, and it was overpriced. So
Oh yeah, right. Because as we all know, prices just always stay the same on everything. So if I were to compare what I bought at Walmart in 1950, and then go today, the prices would be different. It would be drastically more. Just like if you bought something in 1990 and then went to go buy, I don't know, say fucking something else in 1997, probably it's fucking idiots.
So I want things to just come back down. I want the border to be safe. I want my country to be safe. You know, my mother is from
Gas in Jersey, $3.09. Yeah, gas. I don't know what the fuck people complain. I mean, what do you want? Like I said, it cost us over 1 million people to get to the $1.89 that Donald Trump likes to tout. You want to go back to that? Or do you want to have our, inflation at a rate? What is it? 2.5% right now? Or is it 3? I think it's 2.5% right now, right? If I'm not mistaken. And I think 2% is what they shoot for. So what the fuck are people talking about right now? If the prices are too high, then you want to go after and talk to and email and fucking rate or whatever the fuck you do online, these corporations and companies that are jacking up the price. Like, for instance, I just saw in my area where Stop and Shop was having different prices for the same thing, depending on where the store is located, right? Which again, I think in Massachusetts is not legal. And I think that's why people were looking into it. You can't charge more people more in the city for the same product as you can in it's just, you can't price gouge the shit out of people in different areas, basically is what the fuck. 2.4 Ed Tech says 2.4%. Right. And I think what we shoot for is around 2%, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not a financial guy, but I do believe that is the sweet spot, as they say, for like the inflation rate.
from Argentina. She's a United States citizen. And
Ooh, 269. There we go. Who does have the lowest gas in the chat? Type in the chat if you think you got the lowest gas price in the country right now, or at least in the chat. I'm dying to see what people are paying around the country.
And
I think we have, what is it here? That's a good question. I think it's in the threes. I want to say the 20s, like 320 something maybe.
agrees. She loves Trump. And I think we all agree. I mean, everyone here, honestly, it's crazy. I've never seen so many people in Prescott. Like, this is awesome.
It really is. There's so many people.
You paid $270 for what? What the fuck are you filling up? A bus?
From California. There's so many people from other states. We just talked to someone from Oregon. Like, there's so many people that are coming out. And this is
right. It's almost like you can't fill the place with people just in that area, right? Like we've been saying all these years and rallies. Like, wow, look at all the people that it's the same motherfuckers that come from all over the country. The same fucking women from South and North Carolina, the same front row Joes, the same wall guy, the same guys every single time, sprinkled in with a couple fucking curious people in the area, right? And that traveling circus goes around to their little places, and that's exactly what happens. They know they have a known base of people, and then there's the curious people that want to see what happens, and then there are obviously people in the area that fucking are Trump. But this whole they like to make it seem like every place they go that the place is packed with 100,000 of the people that live in that exact area, which is just fucking ridiculous.
We see this all the time. We travel around. We're at every Trump rally, and we see people that are traveling out.
I need to know, how long was my last show? I really need to know. Like, am I supposed to do so dumb? I forget if it's 2 or 3 hours. No, that's me right now. I don't want to watch me right now. I want to know how long my last one was. My last one, Jesus Christ, was 4 hours and 23 minutes long. Good golly, Miss Molly. Well, that ain't happening today. Let's listen to this lady, and then I'll let you go. You guys can catch your football. You guys can catch whatever you need to catch.
Hours, or flying in from other states just to get a chance to see President Trump speak. As a woman, how do you feel things are?
Yes, please. How do you feel as a woman? Next question.
Going now in terms of, you mentioned safety a few times. So
How does Donald Trump make you feel safe?
Do you not feel safe when you're walking the street, when you're walking to your car? Tell me more.
I think it depends, honestly, where you are. Here in Prescott, it's very
Fucking fam. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
small town. There's a lot of elder people that live here, and
Right. So the crime is at a low rate, is what you're getting at. Just fucking say it. We don't have crime here because crime is down nationwide, as it has been since the 90s, been coming down dramatically. So yeah. So what she's trying to say there, fucking chief, as there's no crime there, so stop trying to fucking scare people. She's perfectly fine walking to her car after this Trump rally. I don't know why she is, because there's creeps there, but she is.
and it's a very popular place for retirement, which is awesome. And everyone here is so amazing. I feel safe here. When I go home to Missouri and St. Louis, especially downtown or even in Phoenix, I don't feel safe. You know, I want to walk around and not have to be completely aware.
Yeah, she's boring. She's boring.
Talking to a few
I
people.
want to see a crazy person.
And there was people here in line in Prescott at 2 p.m. yesterday. Everyone.
I want to end on the reason why we're fighting against fascism and Trumpism and these people to begin with. And I guarantee it's not going to take long for us to find it.
Numbers on their hands when they arrived. And the people we were speaking to
I'm dying to hear from these ladies. Do you feel safe, ladies? How does Donald Trump make you feel safe, ladies?
earlier had 195. Where are you guys from?
Here.
From here in Prescott? Yeah. And I'm saying this right?
Wow, he found the one group. Congratulations, dude. Great job, RSBN. Great. He found the one group from the group of women. They're fucking lost, I guess. I don't know what the fuck they're doing here.
There's been a lot of debate. Prescott or Prescott?
Please.
What does her shirt say? Excuse me? She's got the say no to the hoe. Okay. All right. Makes sense now. Everything makes sense now. It's all becoming clear to me. Good Lord, these people are wild.
Prescott. Prescott.
Yeah, all right, I've been saying it right. All right, thank God.
Damn, from Prescott.
I can breathe easy. So, what are some of the issues here in Prescott?
Please, yes. What are some of the issues that you're now wearing a say no to the hoe, being fucking misogynistic as a woman against a woman who's now the vice president of the United States running to become president of the United States? Please do explain.
That are affecting you guys, and what are you hoping to hear from President Trump today?
The gas prices.
Yeah, gas. Oh, the gas prices here in Arizona, because we all know Biden and Harris, they're fucking directly controlling those gas prices. It has nothing to do with OPEC or the world situation or wars in other places. It has nothing to do with that. Good Lord.
Please, God, lower
You guys
them.
said that in synchrony.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, we all drive big fucking rigs with dualies on it and 47 tires and an exhaust system and fucking superchargers. So we suck a lot of that diesel in, baby.
Too, we pull a lot of overtime.
Come on over so we can hear you.
We like the no tax on overtime.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. It is a big one. Our employers are going to like it even more than we do because it really doesn't help us that much.
For sure. And you both work in healthcare?
Yeah.
And so you're pulling a lot of overtime?
Yes.
Imagine that. Imagine that. A woman, female, working in healthcare, somehow supporting Donald Trump. Now, I'm sure as we press play, there's going to be at least one more bit of irony that we can squeeze in here.
Yeah.
Our community's grown a lot.
Has it grown with migrants? Has it grown with what are some,
right. Got to be the migrants. Got to bring them into this.
some of the other issues here locally that you guys are seeing?
It's a lot of Californians coming here too.
So blame it on California.
Yeah.
Migrants
Yeah.
too, though. I
Yeah.
agree with that statement for sure. Yeah, especially noticing it in the healthcare field.
So, what?
Sorry, the edibles are just kicking in, dude. Came at the wrong time. My apologies. Just kicked in.
What is it?
All right, fuck them. I'm done with them. All right, so let's get to. Oh, look at everybody that fucking gave to the show today. Look at all you guys. You fantastic people. Hi, Lucia. Hi, Stoneflower Dragon. Tanya, you're the best. Nanette, Victor, Terpy, Vixen, Jupiter Judy, Wes. What's going on, my man? Michael, Kath, how are you? Sally, JD, Rob Law, Loguera, T. Freeman, 10 of 5, Alyosha, Sick of Fit, Vincent, Melinda. Good Lord. Jim, what's going on, brother? Grace, Denise, what's that say? Democracy, Meow. What's going on? Cosmic Rose, Ron, Judy, Big Dog, Odin, Independent, We got the whole crew here today. I do appreciate you guys. All right, so let me get to thanking the people, and I'll let you go. You guys can catch the end of the football games, catch the beginning of the 4 o'clock games if you're on the East Coast. Yeah, appreciate you joining me. Like I said, Donald Trump's going to have more crazy appearances to come. No sense diving into all of them because he's going to say the same bullshit. But I do want to call out is every time he talks about the Alien, Enemies, and Sedition Act, right? Let's please be on top of that because we know his entire Trump speech is about immigrants, demeaning immigrants, demonizing immigrants, making you scared of immigrants. So that is his whole lead up to get the country to believe that we're under some sort of invasion so he can invoke this act and in turn, anybody he deems to be an enemy of the country. So let's just make sure we get that straight. So, all right, let's see. GJ, what's going on? Thank you for becoming a member for 3 months. I do appreciate you guys. The people that have been sticking around is awesome. Gino, you shitting me 7 months, you fucking handsome motherfucker. Look at that. That might be the max. I don't know if you can be more than that, Gino. I appreciate that, dude. Luis at Boston Brian for an adjustable table that you can raise so you can be standing up to do the show. Yeah, what do they call it? Like the Veridesk? It's like a Veridesk thing. I have one similar. It's just I'm too tall for it. That's all. A green screen's fine if I sit. Light is high enough if I stand. I mean, the cameras, the lights are all set. It's just this thing, but I think they're an expensive purchase. So I need to do a lot more shows and get a lot more subscribers, I think, and Patreon members, patreon.com/Boston Brian. By the way, we can do our VIP chat. Zoom is coming up soon. Again, our Zoom meetings for the Patreon, which is what we do for the Patreon. You sign up. There's perks to sign up. There's 3 different levels you could choose from. Get you into our Zoom meetings, which we just shoot the shit. That's all we do. Nothing behind the scenes that you have to pay for to find out different content. Nothing behind the scenes where you can get away from ads. I don't do ads. I don't sell you anything. It's just me here in my apartment in front of a camera with a laptop speaking to you guys from the heart. That's literally all it is. So I appreciate every contribution. Luis, for $20 is a fucking big contribution to our channel. It's fantastic the fact that you are here every week. It's fantastic the fact that you continue to donate to this show and the fact that we can grow this stream and grow our community. It's fucking awesome. It really is. So Gino, GJ, Luis, thank you guys so much. Jolie, 4 months as a member. Slacks, fucking fantastic. Slacks, appreciate you, my friend. JD, gifting subs like a saint. Colleen coming in with 20. Trump is the king in front of the world and trying to take our country down with him. Let's not let him do it. Let's get out there and vote. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of fucking prognosticators prognosticating about what different early vote numbers mean and who's voting and what counties and what the numbers. Let's break down the numbers here. And like I said, I think I heard Pac-Man talking about, the numbers compared to 2020 and 2016. We only know what happened in 2016, 2020, and the numbers after the election. That's when we find that out. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is get out there and vote, right? We can look back at the numbers after and figure out what the fuck happened. But until then, get people registered to vote. Make sure you registered yourself. Get a plan to vote. Get a ride to vote. Get a day off to vote. Whatever the fuck it takes. Make sure you're there. Make sure it counts, please. Robin, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Let's see here. Sheldon, Trump is sundowning rapidly. Could happen. Couldn't happen. I think he meant couldn't happen to a better fascist. Right? I'm just saying, I want to correct you. You could be right on that one. But thank you so much for the 10. But yes, the more appearances Trump is doing, like I said, he's ramped up his appearances. I don't know if you've seen my latest video on Midas Touch. You can go to Midas Touch on YouTube or MidasTouch.com and check that out. Here, let's see if I can do that real quick. Just show you where you can go to. Let's see. Midas Touch. Midas Touch Network? I don't know. Just show you here. Go to the Midas Touch, right? Are you viewing? Can you see this? No, you can't. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to do just real quick, and I'll get out of your way. So Midas Touch, you can go to playlists, right? You're going to hit playlists, and then you're going to scroll down until you see Boston Brian, which is got to be here somewhere. Here I am right here, right next to Ken Harbauer, Gabe Sanchez, Fred Willman, Texas Paul. So yeah, if you don't play them all, you don't want to do that. Well, you can play them all, actually. That's actually what you do want to do. But
They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated? The word tariff, properly used, is a beautiful word. One of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. It would have done nothing. It would have hurt. But they use that as a ruse. They talk about the paperclip. The paperclip is a very simple thing. A lot of people say, gee, why didn't I think of that? Pay tariffs to come into our country.
Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from.
And we must stop her. Country destroying. This is a country destroying.
These are meaningful words. They have substance.
Excuse you?
It's this. It's not muscle. It's all right there. That's a muscle too, they say. I said, why did the mayor of Russia's wife, that she's even running. I haven't gotten an apology. I want an apology from ABC. I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful.
And it just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
The people that you see leaving, because nobody ever leaves. We will open Anwar again. I got it done. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it done. Nobody could get it done. I got it. Granted, you have to get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We cannot accept it. I said, don't do that. Because it looks like they're leaving, like your husband who owns this place.
I don't know what the hell that was, but I know it can't be president. What? Sorry. The intros on those, I have so much fun doing the intros on those. It's fucking ridiculous. There's just so much to choose from. So much to fucking choose from for clips for like the intro to put together to show everybody just how incoherent, just how rambling and fucking like his lack of attention span, right? Like, oh, there's a fly. Oh, there's a lake. Oh, lady. Hi, wall. Uncle Sam. Fucking front. Like, he just cannot stay on task. His constant swearing now, where he just said the other day that the governor is bullshit or scared. What did he say? Something he's scared. I forget what the fuck he said, but he's swearing more. Again, just more signs of possible dementia coming up. But I just wanted to play that intro. Yeah, squirrel. Oh my God, you called it. Somebody just said squirrel. Ready? I'll play this one part for you. Let me find it. Here it is. Ready? Just for the person that said squirrel. Ready? Here you go. Whether it be his continued demonization of immigrants, whether it be his prolonged bouts of Russian propaganda, whether it be his lack of mental focus and attention span like the dog from Up. Squirrel! Whether it be... Oh, I'm sorry. I cracked myself up. I'm sorry. I do. I really do crack myself up. I do apologize. That's on me. That's on me. I forget where I was at. But that part, I just love it. I just love those videos are so fun to make. They take forever though. All right, let's go back to where I was. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say thank you to everybody. I think I did Sheldon. Josh, thank you so much. Yet Luna will be the first one to lie about an incident she was at. Yep. Talking about Rep. Anna Paulina Lunar, if you're just kind of watching, if you're just joining us and haven't gone back yet. We talked about how Joe Biden, Anna Paulina Lunar, and I believe it was Rick Scott were touring the devastated areas down in Florida and meeting and greeting and shaking hands and showing their respect to the people that have lost everything. And these people will and have been the exact same people to go after Joe Biden for his supposed lack of response. Right. And again, she's probably not going to stop now that she walked side by side. It's got to be a tough thing for her to do. Not going to lie. It's got to be a tough video for her to watch, knowing her followers aren't going to fucking like that very much, that she was walking around with Joe Biden. You can count on that one. Unfortunate altar boy. Sorry, I can't afford it. Dude, no sorries. Fuck you. How about that? Yeah, you give me a sorry, I'll give you a fuck you. Because don't apologize to me for being in whatever situation you guys are in. If there's anybody that understands it, it's me. So like I say all the time, just like the videos, just subscribe, just share it out, comment. That is all free as free can be. Doesn't cost you a fucking thing. All right? If you are not in the financial situation to come out of pocket with anything, don't. Please don't. I'm begging you to not come out of pocket with something financially if you are not in the position to do so. Put it towards something more important to your daily routine, your daily life, please. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the comments. I see the likes. I see the subscriptions. That is more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. So no sorries. All right. No sorries, please. Lisa, thank you so much. Just listening today, vote blue. Thank you so much, Lisa. $2.79. I love it. You guys crack me up. What's this one? Lisa, go with the Flow Farm. 100% respect, Brian. LWD Farm. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you being here for 5 months. Let's go. Altar Boy again, member for 4 months. See, what are you talking about? Can't afford. You've been a member for 4 months. Be sorry in me. Don't be sorry in me. I should be thanking you like I'm doing now. That's how it goes. 4 months as a member. Thank you so much. Loretta Smith. Meanwhile, Harrison Walsh raised $1 billion since President Biden left. How ridiculous is that? Right? But again, the amount of money, it doesn't, we could have $1 trillion, but we need to get the poll. We need to get to the polls. We need to, somehow it's just that whole, the momentum swing that we had when Kamala Harris took over. I know we're still enthused. I know the rallies are still packed, but somehow it's still too close. It's still fucking far too close in the most important areas too. In the most important areas of this country that we need to win, because we're going to have the popular vote, but that ain't going to mean shit if we can't pull off the electoral college. So please get out there and vote. None of this is a given. None of this is guaranteed. Donald Trump does absolutely have a chance to become president of the United States of America again. Let that fucking sink in. Let that be clear. The man we watched in the state that he's in has a good shot to become president again. Just if we don't get out there and vote, if we don't talk to people, and I'm glad to see that at the Rotary, there's been Harris wall signs and people on their trucks and people beeping and people getting excited. But there's also been a few instances where I've seen a little Trump gatherings at a few places. So again, I know I'm in Massachusetts. I'm in no worry of this state turning red. I understand, but there are very real places in this country. The swing states are extremely important, and it's still far too close. That's the only problem. Stoneflower Dragon, thank you so much for the memberships. You fucking saint you. Benny Loco, here she is. Without immigrants, there is no America. Hola, everybody. AFK, getting it done. Let's go, U.S. Appreciate you, Benny Loco, and you're absolutely right. This country was built off the backs of immigrants, and as I was explaining earlier, the racist policy from Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Operation Wetback, obviously the name right off the bat is a racist demonization of immigrants, considering that they have to cross the Rio Grande, thus getting their backs wet in the process. But yes, this country was absolutely built off immigrants, the hard work and dedication of people to their craft, and it will continue to do so. That's what we are fighting for, and that's what we strive for. So thank you, Benny Loco. Thank you, Big Dog. First time watcher, he says. Really appreciate you, Big Dog. Really appreciate you. First time watcher and already donating. That's fucking huge. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your activity in our political sphere. I really do appreciate it. Benny Loco again without immigrant. Oh, did I skip somebody or did you do that twice? Oh, I skipped people. That's what it was. I skipped people. I skipped Wes. He'd be really mad at me. I'm so sorry, Wes. Alien asylum sanctuary for the refugees. America used to be the place for it. Your folks and mine came bravely, just like they do today. Well said, Wes. We can't forget, though, the negative times. Like I said, the Japanese internment camps, the fact that we turned away a ship full of Jews and refugees from Germany in Europe during World War II. There are some absolute dark spots in our history that we have to acknowledge and that we have to fix and make sure that don't happen again, because they have a real possibility of doing so. As crazy as it seems, as ridiculous as it seems, they have a real possibility of happening again. Let's see it. Jason Bourne, let's go, becoming a new member. Thank you, J-Bo. Appreciate you, dude. Robin Drop, Mel, I just saw the t-shirts in the store. That's about invisible illness. If you did that, it's needed. Yes, Robin, she is 1,000% responsible for the designs in there. She cares a lot about people that have mental health struggles, struggles that aren't naturally or easily seen just from the outside, but people are absolutely experiencing on the inside. So we got the mental health matters. We got, let's see here. Yeah. There we go, right here. No better way to do it than to show you, right? No better way than to do it than to show you. Let's see here. I'm going to get up a little here. I'm going to put this into, share screen. There we go. All right. So these are just some of the designs that Mel's come up with. I mean, she's done fucking, why isn't it in there? Oh, there it is. There you go. Right, so we got the Keep Calm and Kamala On, which I think is my personal favorite. It's just a fantastic design. We got the new arrivals here. We got the Stop Project 2025, piece of stuff to do with me, which is really pretentious, and I apologize. The Support Ukraine, Pro Roe v. Wade. Let's check that out, right? Let's look at this shit. This stuff is fuck. Why is this? Why'd that pop up? That's not what I want. I want this. Here we go. So Nasty Women Social Club, Pro Roe, oh Roe, they didn't abort the court. This, I think you can, come on, tell me this isn't fucking, tell me this isn't one of the best t-shirts on the internet today. Please, let me go to your comments. I have to know the thoughts on this one. I have to know the thoughts on this one. Please, tell me that's not the best fucking shirt on any merch store in the political game right now. Tell me that's fucking not the best. This pussy grabs back. Come on. Come on. If I was a female, I would have that on 24 hours a day, letting men know fucking where I stand in this. Oh, that's such a good one, Mel. Such a fucking good one. Such a fucking good one. All different colors, obviously. You know, just the website is really nice the way she set it up. The whole thing is just fucking fantastic. Regulate Your Cock is a good one. I mean, come on. Who else has a Regulate Your Cock merch t-shirt? You're not going to see that on any other merch store, baby. Original designs, fantastic prints, real good t-shirts, good quality t-shirts, hoodies. Like I said, look at this shit. Regulate Your Cock is just a fantastic fucking design, right? Because if you can't regulate it, don't tell a woman how to fucking what to do with her body afterwards. That's the problem. What else we got? Pro-choice is fuck. By choice, for choice, mother, pro-choice, pro-equal rights, pro-gun control, mugs we got, stickers you can do. Let's go to the Ukraine collection is fucking incredible. Bunch of good designs for the Ukraine collection. Slava Ukraine. This is my favorite hoodie right there. The regular one. We got the one that I'm wearing now, which is perfect. What else we got? I want to go to the mental health. That's what I want. Here's the mental health one. This is the one that I really like. So let's see here. We got mental health is health. Fantastic design. All panic, no disco, which is a fucking You're just so good at this, Mo. You really are. Straight out of therapy. Great fucking t-shirt, right? Come on. Let's live, laugh, Lexapro. Great fucking t-shirt. I mean, the designs are fantastic. Chronic Anxiety Club, Professional Overthinker, Be Mindful. Let's see here. You Are Not Alone. Keep fucking going. I mean, come on. Where else are you going to just let somebody know to keep going? You never know when you might pass somebody on the street, right? Who's having a tough day, rough day that they just had, and your shirt says keep fucking going. Maybe that gives them the boost. Maybe that gives them the boost that they need. But again, you guys get the picture. She's fantastic at what she does. The shirts, like I said, are really good quality. I'm not just selling bullshit here where it's just, trying to make a buck. This is actually good stuff, actually good mugs, actually good sweatshirts. Again, we donate to different projects and different, like the United 24, Planned Parenthood. This is a good one. The what's that say? The Trevor Project. Yep. The Mental Health Alliance. I mean, Mothers Against Greg Abbott, World Central Kitchen. So it's not like we're just doing this to make a buck. We're really interested in helping and, donating to the causes that we believe in. So again, we're trying to give you a good product. In the meantime, it's not just bullshit. It's real merch. It really is there. It's really good. So I appreciate you being there. Again, I'm fucking stalling. I can't believe I'm past. I do apologize. I'm trying to thank everybody. Colleen with the 50. Good Lord, Colleen, you are fucking fantastic. We must protect our blessings, freedoms before they could be taken away. Vote. Colleen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Fantastic. Just a huge reason that we're able to keep going. Thank you so much. Cindy became a YouTube member. Sally gifted 5 memberships. Nick, what's up, Nicholas? What's up, brother? I'll catch up later. No worries. No worries, dude. That's why we're on YouTube. That's why it's good. You can't watch it live. Come in, throw a comment on, throw a like, do what you need to do. Come back later. Take a watch when you have the time. It's perfect. Yet he's at Coachella. The buses ran out of gas and waited until the middle of the night to get back to their cars. He was also, I don't know if I'm running out of time. I can't keep going, but there's a video. If you go to Midas Touch, Ben Iselis did a video on it about his Coachella speech where people were just dropping like flies, right? Because of the heat. So why he would make his people suffer through that, knowing that he has no chance in California, right? Knowing that it's just a waste of money, time, and energy that he's even there. And on top of that, he's making these people sit in the sun and they're all passing out. But if you check out that video, you get to look at that. Go with the Flow Farm is gifting 1 membership. Thank you so much. Daphne, 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are thanking the people donating. What up, Jorge? What's up, brother? What's up, brother? George became a member. Cecilia, let's go. California, my ballot has been accepted and counted. My son's voting for the first time. He has to cure his due to signature mismatch. Vote blue. Whichever way you get it in. Thank you so much for your vote. Thank you much for your contributions to this country and your services. It's really, really important in this one. And thank you, son, as well. Appreciate it. From Boston, Brian. Tell him I said hello. Tell him I said congratulations on his first vote. No matter how it has to get in, as long as it gets in, that's what counts. So thank you to you and thank you to him for being here and voting. Fred Bear, let's go. Keep bringing the heat. I'm trying to, buddy. I'm trying to. It's actually getting a little nippy in Boston. Getting a little nippy. Get the shades down. Heat almost went on the other night, but it didn't. It did not yet. Michael McAndrews, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian. Great show. Appreciate you. Appreciate your contributions. You are fucking fantastic. Sally back at it. Here's for the new exclusive and fun Boston Brian emojis. They are fucking fantastic. Again, another producer, Mel, another girlfriend, Mel production. She's all over that stuff. She does amazing work, and that she just create. Look at Wes. Holy shit. Wes, what did you hit an extra 7, dude? What? One too many 7s on there, I think. Usually it's a 777. This kid is like an imaginary son, of course. Young boys like war. God bless people, not nations. Borders and money are imaginary. Be amazed, but don't fall in love with violence, please. Wes, I think you're a fantastic person. I really do. I really do. Me and you have never had any troubles with each other, never had any squabbles or anything. I know, like you said earlier, you used to be a good shit stirrer, but somehow we've managed to keep it a very clean and civil relationship. So I do appreciate you always being here and your contributions and this huge contribution, which is just very, very thoughtful of you, very, very kind, and very much appreciated, Wes. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Michael McAndrews again for 2 months, man. Thank you. Roxy, what's up, Rox? Appreciate you, and thank you for your services. Much love to you all. Right back at you, dude. Right back at you. Thank you, moms. Love you, Bride. Great show. Love to Mel. I shall pass that along. Super sticker. Thank you, C. Sandland. Appreciate that. Jorge's back at it. Love you, Brian and fam. Jorge, you know, right back at you, brother. Right back at you, dude. You know that. And that was rounding up. So thank you to everybody that's gifted. Thank you to everybody who supported the show. Right now, you go catch the end of the 1 o'clock games. Yeah, and I love you. We'll see you next week on Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for sticking with me every week. We're going to continue to grow. We're on our way to, I believe, 8,000. Let's get to 8,000. It's slow going, but we'll get there. This should be the time where everything's popping. Everybody should be watching politics right now, right? We're getting into that almost 3 weeks until the election. This is when it should pop. So share it out, like the show. Make sure you're doing everything you can. If you want to become a channel member, make sure you're doing that. Patreon, all that good stuff. Get them shirts. That would be fantastic if you could get the merch. Would be fucking unbelievable because that really helps the channel, myself, the channel, and Mel a lot. So thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Let me see if I can get the fuck out of here without looking like an idiot. Is it this one? I think it's
eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Oh, no. Shut up, you fucking bastard. All right, wrong button. That was the wrong button. All right.
They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated?
Fuck, that ain't it either. All right, it's got to be one of these things. I think it's this one.
A crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace. Dumb fucks. They're the dumbest fucking people on earth.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful life. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. Water coming here is dead. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. And Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor.
I had to come back on. Wes, just for you, there's now 777 people listening or watching. Just that's for you, Wes. And just a reminder, Donald Trump also said in his last speech, that he wouldn't let funding go to California for people that are fighting wildfires if he wasn't elected. So that's another threat that I forgot to talk about. But remember that one, because people in California, a lot of wildfires seem to happen in that area. And guaranteed when it happens, you do want the funding to help fight it. That's just the fucking given. So Donald Trump, once again, threatening people to not send the funding to California and Gavin Newsom to fight the wildfires that are so desperately needed if he's not elected. Remember that, Wes. Also, 770 people watching. 777, sorry. Excuse me. Bye. Love you.
You're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing Gettysburg. What an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable. I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. Never fight uphill, me boys, never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general. And they were fighting, never fight uphill, me boys. But it was too late. Our army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. Obama.
All I smell is your bullshit.
No, get those lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off!
Is there anything worse than white people? White people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones.
My superpower is being honest. I will eat my neighbors. I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis. I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis. I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
How do you lie to the FBI and now you're running for president? Seriously, how do you lie to the FBI and now you're running for president?
Falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America. And I'm not going to be like yuppies come and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back.
I am the chosen one. I am the chosen one. The big, fat, sloppy United States.
Yesterday was a hard word for me.
Lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful out. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
People came in illegally from 168 different countries. Most people don't know there's that many countries. There's more than that in the world. shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
The population in Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
The big, fat, sloppy United States. Vagina. Vagina.
And you criticize Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering if you feel that she's going to turn into powerful man. How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following her too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her.
Sit down when you pee like a good little girl.
I am the chosen one.